Hey, what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? I have an open invitation, but you're telling me go get lost. I don't wanna see your face. Yeah, what the hell? So why don't we stay out till the morning light? Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. Some Chardonnay, we camp in the parking lot. Leave traces of plastic cups. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get, so what the hell? Yeah, what the hell? So what the hell? So what the hell? What are you waiting for now? And what the hell? You're pretending that you like somebody else. Like you got boys waiting in line to take you home. But tell the truth, you spend the night alone. Let's be alone. So why don't we stay out till the morning light? Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Frost to Esports. It's Blizzard 95 with a whole new look here today on stream. My name is Llama77, joined at the cast booth. It is the one, the only, it's your boy Q. How you doing today, sir?
Yo, what it do? I got goosebumps after getting to see that little bit of a reveal. It looks nice and crispy. You're looking pretty crispy. Oh, that way over there myself, if I can say so myself as well. So, I mean, let's get off to a great start on a Monday.
Yeah, great start on a Monday. Lots of new things here at Frost that we'll talk about throughout the stream here today, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're starting around early, lots of new things, so more action on stream and more excitement as well.
Yeah, you mentioned being able to start around early. I mean, I think it's part of the hype around everything going on. We had 51 teams registered for today. I mean, talk about people wanting to show up for the big turnout, and we get to start a little bit early, get a little bit more Rocket League. Got a whole bunch of good news coming in too. I can't wait.
Speaking of that good news, first and foremost, Frost has got some new merch. If you guys are interested, new logo and everything on it, do !! merch in chat to make sure to order yourself some new fly Frost merch.
Yeah, that looks pretty lit. I'm not gonna lie. What would be the first thing you want to pick up on? I gotta ask.
Ooh, jersey or hat? Because I'm a pretty big hat guy, but the jersey looks clean as well. I love having my name on stuff, so that I'm also a little bit selfish, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm between the jersey or the hoodie. I think both of those look really clean. Eventually, I'm gonna have to try and probably pick up a little bit of all the swag here. But you mentioned not only do we have the new gear, we also going to be having some new events coming through. So get ready for a lineup of thrilling tournaments that will take your gaming experience to the next level. Stay tuned for announcements on our upcoming competition that promises intense battle and epic moments. It's gonna be fun.
New events, we got new teams, we got new creators, we got so many things on deck, and I'm so excited. Again, I kind of mentioned a little bit on Twitter earlier, but I've been with Frost for now almost 9 months. It's been a crazy journey. I've kind of see all this stuff like happening behind the scenes, and it's just crazy to see this all come to life now.
Yeah, it's definitely been a very fun journey. I've gotten to join in kind of a couple months ago, kind of been in and out, kind of with some of my other scheduling as well. But man, to kind of see everything coming together, and with this being the start of things, I think it's a very good sign of things to come. But you know what, Llama? We've been talking a lot about getting ready and getting down to business. Let's go ahead and get started here with some quarterfinal action.
Here we go. Like we said, we're starting early in the quarterfinals. As a reminder, this is going to be a best of 3 to start us out on the day, but around earlier, more time on stream, already an exciting day. And we got Icon Part 2 in the blue, and we got White Chocolate in the orange.
And we had seen Icon do pretty good what was it, just the other night yet? Last night? Yeah, just last night. It's crazy to think that was just less than 24 hours ago, and they're going to be out here on stream early looking to try and see if they can put some shine on, but it's actually going to be White Chocolate on the board first.
White Chocolate on the board here. Devosaurus, the first to find a goal on the court here. Source a nice actual pass off the backboard, lays it down, and it's going to be Devo slamming that one home. So first on the board, only 30 seconds in.
And when you talk about 30 seconds to be able to get off on the right foot here for White Chocolate, and with this being the quarterfinal here, we are still in that best of 3 territory, so our teams don't have that much time to try and dissect the game plan of the opposition. So to be able to strike first, definitely got to be feeling good. The other thing you're probably liking, at least for now on the side of White Chocolate, is it seems like you're able to pretty well meet the resistance of whenever they try and get out of the zone, you're pretty well catching them at midfield, and if it does get in your zone, it's only for a couple of seconds.
Feeling good, getting those early clears, very important, especially in a best of 3 where you don't have that much time to adapt. Maybe you lose a game. They're already at series point. Taha, though, what a save there. Dives to the goal line, makes that one, and now going the other way. Wes, a nice shot towards the right post. Doesn't find the back of the net, but some good pressure being applied from Icon. I love this offense I'm seeing.
Yeah, I'm really loving the coordination. You're seeing the clear pass up to Taha, then centering it up for the teammate as well. So you know that the communication is there. You're starting to see Icon starting to put it together, seeing some demos coming out. And just as much as I talked about White Chocolate had started restricting, Icon from really getting into their offensive zone, they're starting to kind of piece things together. But they do need to make sure that on defense, they continue to show up kind of the way Wes has with that last save.
West doing really good on the defense, but Skippy is not going to let him go for free off of the crossbar. A secondary touch off the backboard. Buffy, the saves are coming out of nowhere here for Icon. They are looking good. Now the counterattack will be their gift.
Yeah, but now you got Skippy going the opposite way with just one player to beat, but Buffy is going to retrieve it off the corner. Now you have everyone back here for Icon. At this point, pass ahead, but that's actually going to get intercepted here by Devo. It allows White Chocolate to keep things together. That gets sent off the backboard, but now West trying to turn things around.
Trying to turn things around, trying to play off their defense. Love to see it from Icon, but that also means they are in this defensive sector for a long period of time. You know, White Chocolate, the more shots they get on board, the more chance they have to find those goals. Only one of them right now as we hop over that halfway marker. So half this game still left to play. Still a lot of time for Icon to try and find their offensive journey here.
Yeah, I mean, you feel like here with 2 minutes left, you still definitely have some time to make some offense work, but you do have to make sure that you can at least stop this current attack being put on by White Chocolate. That's going to be a big booming clear off there. I think that actually just goes in, and that's just one of those for Taha where it's better to be lucky than good.
Taha gets, we'll say a full court shot there. Like you said, a little bit lucky, but you take those. The goal is a goal. The rotations definitely making sure they punish them there. Icon equalizing at this game. Took them about 3 minutes to do so, but, you know, we've talked about Taha. You talked about, we just saw this team, Icon, last night take a third place in a tournament, and Taha was the leader on their offense. So to see Taha get, you know, one of those amazing clearing goals has got to feel good.
Ooh, I thought Buffy was just about to cut that thing up into that top left-hand corner, but we did see getting knocked away. White Chocolate here. Now going to try and turn defense into offense there to keep it alive with a nice touch in the corner, but West should help alleviate some of this pressure with that demo here, but Icon not going to be able to get the clear. Devo actually gets the stop. Second touch going to come off of the corner. No one in really, I was going to say no one in a good position, but Skippy at least keeps things alive. They're making things tough for Icon, making it so that they really have to stress to even get things past midfield.
Making sure they work for every single one of those touches, but now the touch is going to lead them into the offensive zone. Right off the corner, West trying to lead the charge as Taha picks up the pieces of the play. Skippy, a nice demo midair, goes off the backboard. No shot, no goal just yet, but West is going to try and keep on going, keep this play alive, and make it just a little bit easier for themselves. Taha wants to contest up in the air, but has to leave it to the teammates.
And now with 45 seconds left here, you can't help but feel like the next goal will be the final one. Buffy sends a shot on to target, but Devo doing a good job on defense. It's going to be a demo which might be able to buy a little bit of space here because now they're going to be playing off of their heels. The question is, can you make them pay? Buffy's going to leave it up top, but it is going to be just a little bit wide. Pass centered up from West, but that's also wide. I think this is going to be a point where White Chocolate should be able to get this cleared out.
They should be able to get it cleared out, but now we're approaching the final 15 seconds. Still 1-1, a goal here. Could give a win in this game. It's going to be down to single digits for our first matchup of the night. Sora's going to go into the skies. Their teammate is there. The passing is good. Off the backboard is just too slow. West is too good, but the third man can't make it happen. The post stops him.
Oh, just a tad bit wide. Actually going to get stopped by the post there as the clock had expired. So, of course, that means with overtime, that golden goal situation for our first game of the day under the rebrand. That's some excitement for you, Llama. Uh-oh.
Big excitement, yes, sir. And golden goal, like you said, Taha, gotta be a little bit careful off those defensive backboard touches, but nonetheless, still finds a way to clear it out. The defense, really what Icon has been working off all of this game. Again, their lone goal coming about at the 2-minute marker, so you know, they've just been playing some consistent defense. I feel like I'm a little bit scared for White Chocolate because they haven't found too much offense in the past couple minutes.
Yeah, they haven't found much offense, but I do feel like their defense has been pretty stout, right? Like, you got to remember that the one goal for Icon was that very, very lucky from distance. So I feel like maybe you haven't felt the greatest about your offense, but I do feel like you're rather confident on your defense. That's unfortunately just gets cut too far wide. Now you got to be able to make sure you can control the counter attack, and they are going to slow it down and actually get it cleared the opposite way.
Skippy might have an opportunity, gonna bounce off the ceiling. It looks like Buffy should be able to take control of this one. Actually, might control it a little bit too much. Will lay it down, but again, no teammates there. West did have to rotate a little bit back to that midfield to pick up some boost for themselves, but Taha now stuck behind enemy lines. Buffy there on enemy lines will fight it, try and fight right on the backboard. Has to go up the final player. Taha, good defense once again. They clear it yet again.
And it's insane to think that both of these teams are over 10 shots, but it's going to be that one from West. Lucky number 12. It took a dozen of them things to be able to find the second goal, and that second goal was a minute and a half into overtime. And White Chocolate, you got to remember, they were the first one to score.
They were the first one to score, and then it's kind of unfortunate. It's like you said, off of that long-winded, edge to edge goal that, usually doesn't go in. But you know what? You take those, and it's just the persistence, I feel like. Icon, yes, they had so many shots, but it's because they were just pestering over and over, shot after shot after shot.
Yeah, when you continue to pepper at the goal like that, eventually you're going to be able to catch somebody out of position, right? Because at some point you're able to kind of stay in the zone long enough, control the boost, and eventually strike goal. Also, it's just one of those things where, you shoot shots at some point, you get lucky once or twice,
Yeah, that's very true. Also as well, Devo did have 6 of those shots, so maybe going into game number 2 could be something that White Chocolate looks forward to maybe bank off of. But, kind of interesting. We talk about best of 3s, a little bit shorter size of a series. You lose that first game, all of a sudden now the opposing team is on series point. You drop one more, they move on, and obviously for Icon, we saw them yesterday make a pretty insane lower bracket run, so definitely wouldn't want to put them down there, but they're not at any danger right now.
Yeah, we're not in danger, at least not for now, but we do know with more teams signed up for our first event here under the new banner that there is still plenty of time to play. So just because we see them win here doesn't mean that they'll be able to let their foot up off the gas. Speaking of that foot on the gas, White Chocolate looking to try and see if they can score first early, leaving that thing off the backboard, but with the double commit, now a potential opening for the counter.
See if they can get that counter. It's really, again, what Icon had been working off of, getting those counters and keeping that time in the offensive zone up and up and up, but a shot really fast. Nice defense once again from Icon as they hold strong. Again, like you said, double-digit shots last game for both squads and still only 3 goals. I think this one is going to be relatively low scoring, so if you can get that first early goal, it's huge.
I love seeing the pestering that Buffy is able to do on this side. Gets the bounces, gets it off the wall. And Buffy, you ain't got to do it to him like that.
Oh man, the nice little soft bounce off the ground. Teammates there as well to make sure you get the bump. It's unassisted, but it's like we said, it's one of those plays where, the teammate definitely does help assist. They don't get credit, but a goal nonetheless, like we said, in this such low scoring, active series. I was going to say almost off kickoff might have been equalized, but should be holding stable for now.
And, at least for now, Icon got to have the chat feeling good. We see that they were predicting that they were going to come out on top here. They were able to walk away with game 1. Now going to be the first one to be able to strike gold here in game number 2. But White Chocolate, you can see, heaving some big shots here at the net, trying to see if they can make something happen. Not even allowing a big clear here. It's going to be a touch left off the backboard. Devo not going to be able to drop it down without getting stopped by Buffy.
Some really good pressure, though, applied from White Chocolate, and I feel like this is what they have to do. I mean, this defense is going to be so stout. You have to come up with some creative plays, not the just normal shots. They're not going to beat Icon. You have to make something creative. So we'll see if White Chocolate can do that. 3 minutes still left. A lot of time to play for, but they cleared out of the defensive zone quickly up in the air. They'll send it into the corner.
And Icon's defense just showing the ability that they're not going to sit back and just wait for the shot. They don't mind going to the air and contesting you, which I feel like for some teams ends up just putting a whole nother level of stress, because now it's just not about making your play correctly. You've got to be able to make the play just to get past somebody to get an opportunity in the net. You know what I mean? So it makes a whole extra dimension, and it just feels like Icon really controlling the pace.
Really are, and you see it there once again. Buffy stepping up, stepping towards the ball to make sure those passes, those shots are not free. And West has a free shot. It hits the post, though. Bounces up. Unfortunate touch for them, but they're not going to stop. They're going to try and keep this offensive drive going again. We're under halfway and still only 1 goal recorded.
Yeah, I mean, so luckily there, even though you weren't able to capitalize, you do a good job of making sure White Chocolate doesn't come out with a quick counter, right? Now, we are going to see, though, Devo's going to intercept this one at that midfield line, sends it into the corner. Going to try and get this read from Buffy, but Buffy with a beautiful pass. Once again, the teamwork really on display from Icon, but Skippy has other things in mind, knowing that just with 1 minute and 45 seconds, they need to find some sort of resolve. Taha comes in with the save.
Almost threaded the needle there for Devo, a player like we talked about, had the most shots on White Chocolate in that first game, but now no goals for them is really the important statistic. The scoreboard does not lie at the end of the day, but it's going to be West not lying up in the air. Looking for the teammate lying in wait off in the corner, can't find him, but Q, while all this is happening, they're just wasting time.
Yeah, I'm liking to see the patience over on the side of Icon, right? They're doing a good job of putting pressure, but not overly doing so. When they feel like they need to cut back, they push that thing back a little bit. Or even we saw that play where you're kind of just backing down and waiting so you can make a good defensive stop instead of really kind of putting extra pressure on yourself. Nice stop there to be able to get a save. That thing was actually redonkulous.
Taha just came, hit the reset off in the goal, got back out before the player could bump them out of the way. So lovely stuff. The defense once again strikes, and now we're under a minute. White Chocolate still no strikes towards the back of the net, and Taha got a 1v1, doesn't win this one. The player playing it slow. West can't finish it either, but again, time drained down to just half a minute left to play.
And at the side of White Chocolate, they've been held to 6 shots this time around. Granted, there haven't been very many more over on that Icon side. But what's more important is all the shots have come from Devo. I'm not sure what they need to do to try and find an opportunity or an opening for one of their other players here, but you can't have Devo doing all the work.
Devo as well, 4 saves, so really doing everything almost with a good shot there. Oh no, it's a crumbling, unfortunately for White Chocolate. The offense just can't find it here. It's bouncing up, the zero's on the clock, they need to score here. Taha gets one final touch towards the middle. Skippy, you have to keep it on your car, you have to keep, no,
not like this. Thought you had taken it deep enough into the corner to get the roll up, and instead the clock going to expire, and just the one goal is all it takes.
Oh, that hurts. I mean, had 2 shots at the end, pretty open, and drops the ball. Oh, unfortunate to see for White Chocolate. Still such a close series, though. I mean, again, this game decided by just 1 goal. Devo, really good game. Got to give it to him. 4 saves, 6 shots, once again leading the team.
Yeah, and I think it's tough, too, even when you look back, because really, you probably should have had game 1 if it weren't for that little lucky goal, right? Then at least with this, performance in game 2 could have been going to game number 3. But, you and I, we've casted plenty of matchups and plenty of tournaments over here at Frost where we've seen teams go into that lower bracket early and still make a good run. And I think with the performance that we just saw from White Chocolate, they do have that potential.
I think they really do, but the potential for us to check our posture is right here. Q, how's your posture feeling? Is it feeling good?
I mean, I'm standing, so I'm feeling good. You know what I mean? Luckily for me, I can't do the sitting down too much anyway, so I kind of have to be able to have that good posture,
Well, that's good. So posture is checked, and like you said, still opportunities available for both these teams. Icon, they're going to move forward. They'll get another matchup in the winner's bracket for our squad of White Chocolate. They will be dropping down to the lower bracket, but like you said, it's second chances. Sometimes that lights a fire into the teams, and sometimes that's exactly what you need.
And you can see here that Icons actually looks like the first team that we do have that we know of that's going to be moving on into that next round. So we may have just an extra minute or 2 on this break here. But while we have this extra break before we go to break, I want to make sure that y'all are, 1, checking out the Discord. That way you're keeping up to date with all of the new events and things that we do have coming down the pipeline here with with everything going on over here at Frost. But also, if you're not on Twitter and following Frost, or if you are on Twitter, I say it, and not following Frost, also make sure you go over there and slap that follow button as well.
Make sure to do it, all the updates there, and like you said, all the new events, all the fun stuff. Make sure to get in the Discord so you can actually find out about what is happening. Q, it's been a fun first game and series, and it's been awesome because we get to see an extra round. And we don't usually get to see an extra round, but more time. I always love me some more Rocket League games.
Yeah, you know what? Especially to start off my week here on a Monday. And if it's anything, I mean, even though that was a sweep, it was a very close sweep, right? I mean, we're talking about a difference of just 2 goals over the course of the 2 games. If that's anything to kind of give us an indication of what the rest of this tournament's going to give us, I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. I'm excited. Obviously, we'll be moving towards that next round. The next stream game will be that winner's semifinal, and we're staying with the same series length. So we're going to be sticking with best of threes here in the stream games until we hit that winner's final. We'll change it up just a little bit. But, talking about a best of three, we talked about it in this series. You don't have really much time to make mistakes because you drop one game, they're already on series point. They win one more, it's already over.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that last game was kind of the perfect example of it, right? Looked like things were going good. A mistake happens, forces an overtime, and then you do play them very tight. And unfortunately, game two just does not work your way. So I'm sure these teams here are going to want to make sure that they're really on their P's and Q's here. But speaking of being on their P's and Q's, we will be back on our P's and Q's, getting ready for that next matchup here in that winner's bracket or upper bracket semifinal right after a quick break.
Hey, what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? I have an open invitation, but you're telling me go get what the hell? So why don't we stay out to the morning light? Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. Some Chardonnay, we camp in the parking lot. Leave traces of plastic cups. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get, so what the hell? Yeah, what the hell? So what the hell? So what the hell? What are you waiting for now? And what the hell? You're pretending that you like somebody else. Like you got boys waiting in line to take you home. But tell the truth, you'll spend the night alone. Let's be alone. So why don't we stay out to the morning light? Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get, so what the hell? Yeah, what the hell? Are you ready? So what the hell?
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Frost Esports. Still here with our Blizzard number 95, our weekly Rocket League tournament. Still on with Q here as we move further and further in this tournament bracket.
Yeah, we're heading our way here into that upper bracket semifinal. Going to be hanging on board here still with Icon playing against Squidwards here, who just wrapped up a sweep in their own right. Actually, looking through the bracket, Squidwards is off back-to-back-to-back sweep. So they're having some momentum on their side. But as we talked about, Icon has had that momentum on their side. We saw them do very well last night here as well. This should be really good.
I think it should be a fun matchup. I mean, we just got to see Icon. I think the interesting thing is going to be Squidwards. Like you talked about, they have been having a really good tournament bracket run as well. I'm hoping they bring in some high-powered offense, because what we saw from Icon was defense, defense, defense. They were stopping every single thing, but I want to see demos. I want to see bumps. I want to see Squidwards getting out and getting aggressive and challenging that defense.
Well, you know what? Let's not talk about it here, Llama. Let's be about it. Let's go ahead and get down and do what it do. Game number 1. And it looks like very early. We're going to run it back very early.
Yeah, my bird Larry, he was eating the cords to the stream. I'm sorry, I got a bunch of animals here. And my bird Larry, he's eating the stream cords. Okay, my bad. Okay, I let him out. He's good now. He's in the cage.
Larry Bird. You know what? I love where you're going with that. I can very much get along with that. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and just take an extra second here to get things reset. I mean, we got to build the anticipation just a little bit more here before going into this winter bracket semifinal here. And, still going to be that best of 3 at least for one more round here. One more round, right? Because then, upper bracket final, they can do moving that best of 5. So these teams won't have very long to be able to kind of figure each other out. Now, we do want to remember, though, Icon, they allowed a very early goal, but then they were able to hold them scoreless. I think it was, for like 7.5 minutes. So pretty good once they were able to figure out their opposition.
Yeah, and that's like you said, with these best of 3s, it's so tough because we talk about it. Usually in a series, you want to spend that first game. You don't want to just throw all your strategies out because then for the rest of the series, they're going to know. But at the same time, you want to win the game, right? That's obvious, but you want to find that, nice median between the two where you're not giving away too many strategies, but you are winning the game. So it is tough. If you lose that first game, maybe you can, back it up with some strategies. But if you drop one, again, we've talked about it, they're already on series point.
So now they got to make sure they can come out and get themselves off to the right foot. You mentioned it, maybe going to be looking for teams to play a little bit more aggressive, come out with the bumps, the demos, kind of see how those things come out. I think the big thing from watching Icon, not just, that last game, but earlier, is I feel like when playing against them, you need to make sure that you're playing very aggressive. You need to push back against them, not just have good teamwork and the fact that you're moving the ball around for set pieces. It feels like you got to make sure that they have their head on a swivel and being worried about getting demolished.
Got to be worried, but we got everybody in the lobby. We are looking good here for this winner's semifinal. As a reminder, again, best of 3 like we were talking about. So the first matchup, possibly 3. We're starting out quick with Icon with some shots.
Yeah, Icon starting off there early, looking to try and drill that thing in that bottom right-hand corner. Actually ends up going a tad wide, so actually not recorded as a shot. Kind of similarly to that we just saw from Reveal. It's going to come across the actual goal line itself to the opposite corner, but it does get met with some resistance. So Icon still looking to try and find a way to be able to flip this field. It does get passed here up to West. Second touch actually centers things up, but Taha wasn't in position to make anything count off it.
Yeah, Taha pushed up a little bit far here. Demo doesn't even matter. Taha just a little bit too slow on the rotate, and it's going to be Reveal finding the first goal of the game.
Yeah, I can't help but feel just a little tough there. It felt like Taha maybe got caught looking at it on the opposite side of the pitch, even just for a second, which even that little bit then also put them out of position on the opposite side of the pitch. So it is going to be Squidward's finding that first goal. But again, it's early, and we know that Icon does a good job at adjusting.
This is very early. It is a little bit interesting, though. Taha playing up a little bit further than in the previous series, so I am a little bit intrigued. Taha being one of the biggest defenders. West was there as well, making some good saves, but now the goal is empty. The post this time going to be the savior for Icon. Shots are flying through, though. This is the offense we wanted to see from Squidward's.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job of making sure that they're just playing up, and then you're even seeing, when needed, that third player doing a good job of rotating back. This time, not necessarily meeting the ball at mid-pitch, doing it a little bit further back into their defensive zone, but making sure that they're never really falling all the way back into their third, which allows them to really kind of meet Icon head on.
Meeting him head on. We know Icon love to step forward. West getting a friendly fire bump there on Taha. Nice shot going to be put on board. Like you said, it's off the crossbar. A second shot will fly in. Good defense is what Icon is trying to get back to. That counterattack is just going to be cut short very quickly.
Yeah, and they're trying to now actually go the opposite way here for Squidward, see if they can double down this lead. A second touch gets left off the backboard, but Buffy going to do a good job of making sure to delay any sort of push. I mean, they are going to get met here at midfield, so Icon still needed to try to do a good job of transitioning into that offensive lane. Buffy, though, with a nice little hit, but Reveal coming from right to left to be able to come in with a save.
A huge save there from Squidward's to keep them up with this lead, approaching that halfway marker again. This is a round where Icon started to heat up. There you go, though. Reveal is going to heat up for their second goal.
Yeah, this is unfortunate when you see that Taha tries to go for the contest because Reveal left wide open, just needs to make sure that they can get their nose in front of that ball, and that's kind of the easy part of Rocket League, at least at this level when there's a wide open net, and now Squidward's going to be up by 2.
Yeah, and it feels like Squidward has been taking notes. They recognize that Icon love to play forward. They love to take that extra step. So if you can win those contests, those 50-50s near their goal line, it's almost an immediate goal there. Like you said, those open nets definitely available. But some demo is going to be tried from Icon. Some good passing here, but Taha's shot goes a little bit off the mark.
Yeah, and once again, a rather quick visit into the Squidward's, defensive third, right? Yeah, they got themselves a shot, a second decent look, but now all of a sudden they're back into the defensive zone here, and you're seeing the Squidwards doing a good job of making sure that nothing's free as far as flipping the field. Reveal going to be able to get the save coming out of the corner to try and see if they can take it the opposite way as Gio. Second touch not going to be able to get over West, but it is left high enough for the teammate to get a second touch off that backboard.
Up a little second touch for themselves, but as a reminder, if we look back to the first game of the last series, you know, Icon, yes, they found that late goal, but they were only down 1, now down 2 with a minute and a half left. Yes, the offense has been able to find some touches. Can they find anything here? The answer is no. Bumped, and the counterattack is just going to be immediately ensuing. Agius is going to be able to clear this right down the field and right back into Icon's defensive end.
Yeah, and this is tough too, I think, if you're looking on and you're a fan of Icon, because we saw them struggle to put, you know, a couple of goals, 3 of them things over the course of 2 games. They've already allowed 2 here relatively early, and Squidward has had a couple of other opportunities that have been rather close as well. Granted, you have been able to record 5 shots on your side, but nothing that really has seemed too awfully close. We're going to see Gio actually going to be going the opposite way, flip over one. It gets left off of the backboard from Buffy, who didn't get a quite big touch, which isn't going to allow them to get a big clear.
Big clear on the board, but will be cut down real quick by Squidwards as they contest at that midfield line. Now just 30 seconds remaining in this game number 1. As a reminder, again, best of 3. You win this one, you're already on series points, so we'll see if Icon can make miracles happen with 20 seconds left to go. Contest up in the air, wasting time. A long-winded shot goes towards the corner. Buffy trying to keep it in. The third man, Taha, can't find it. Single digits will probably be the death of Icon here.
Yeah, Icon going to be left scoreless here in our first game. And actually, I thought they were going to go ahead and try and add one more there over on the side as Squidwards. But regardless, they're going to end up taking this thing to nothing and looking very, very impressive. As both you and I talked about, doing a very good job of dictating the pace over the course of that 5 minutes.
They just stepped forward, you know. It was Icon. They said, okay, we're going to step forward. We're going to try and intercept those passes. Squidward said, okay, we'll take an extra step forward. We'll just pass it in front of you. We'll beat you. We'll win those 50-50s, and absolutely proving they can do so. Icon's defense still was pretty superb, but those shots from Squidward's were very creative and very on point.
Yeah, it goes back to kind of like we were talking about in that first matchup, in that first game where we saw so many shots from both sides. Eventually, when you continue to pepper at the net, you are going to find something. 10 shots. Yeah, you got 8 saves, but still 2 cross that goal line. Icon did a pretty good job on their own side as well with 6 shots, but just unable to find the back of the net. I feel like if Icon comes out here and in these first 2 minutes still remains goalless, it's going to start affecting that mental just a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, Finn. You know, we got to always talk about it. The series length is definitely not helping you here if you are Icon. You're already down 1. Now you got a second chance. This is where you got to fight for it. So I'd love to see them come out swinging, especially Taha. We've talked about before how we've seen this player lead the offensive charge, but right now Squidward's a kickoff win.
And you mentioned, you know, Taha was a player who you had really mentioned even before that first matchup, has been kind of quiet here in this matchup here, this second go around. Not sure if that's intentional over on the side of Squidwards or just on the side of Taha, just happened to have a bad game, but some sort of answer needs to come in, and it needs to come in relatively quick. Taha's going to pass it up to Buffy. Buffy sends it to the corner, but really with no control, actually too far ahead of him, and the ball's going the opposite way.
It was the opposite way here. Taha, though, going to try and intercept that one off in the air. Reveal looks like they want to set something up, but Buffy has some other ideas. Trying to go from court to court. A nice little flip right at the end of it. Gets the nice touch off the edge of the car, but won't be able to find anything off it. Once again, the offense shut down quick.
You can see the defense on both sides, making sure that they're really trying to limit the amount of opportunities, doing a good job of making sure they're throwing bodies at the players with the shots. That way it's kind of deterring those things to go just a little bit wide here. Left off the top here, Gio, but that's going to be a huge block from Taha. Huge save, and that's going to allow this thing to stay tied up at 0.
Yeah, the defense is still the iron wall. Taha, Buffy, the defensive combo once again striking here. The counterattack now here from West, meeting that right at the 50 marker there. Buffy might have an off the backboard opportunity, but will get cut short, read out perfectly by Squidward as West gets back to work, but with no boost to the tank, has to leave for the teammate, bounces down awkwardly and gives it to Squidward's side.
You see, trying to pass that thing up to Gio there as they were looking on that front left-hand side, driving in towards the net. They are going to at least be able to keep the ball in that offensive zone. Taha, though, going to try and switch the field. Passed up to West. Save going to have to come in from Reveal, but now no one in front of him. You got to try and get back. One touch off the back wall. I think they tried to send it across the net. I don't think they were expecting the pass there, Llama.
Yeah, I don't think they were either, but yet it still remains scoreless. And like you said, for Icon, you know, we really have to take a look at their first 2 minutes. Right now, still no goals on the board, but they look a little bit more aggressive. This is exactly what we need to see, but you got to score a goal here soon. Do not want to remain scoreless yet again. So as we hop over this halfway marker once again, it's Squidward's back on offense, back into the corner. Some fast high-flying Rocket League here by the goal line, but it will be a shot from Geoids, just barely beating the defender.
Yeah, doing just enough, but again, one of those situations where you see this team from Icon going from side to side to try and come in with these block attempts, and that time just not having enough gas in the tank to be able to get where they needed to be. And that's going to be Squidward's back in the lead. And Llama, I had mentioned about the fact that if Icon had been held scoreless in the first 2 minutes, we're about to hit that 3-minute mark.
I mean, they, like I said, they looked a little bit more aggressive, but again, the scoreboard does not lie. You're down 1, approaching these final 2 minutes. There are definitely still opportunities, but Taha and, you know, Buffy have been really good on defense, but would love to see them get a little bit more active on that offensive side, you know, keeping this ball in for longer. Some of the, you know, plays just getting dumped on in, leaving it to the defenders. How about here? Buffy looking for the pass, no boost to work with. Once again, will steal the defenders, but Taha got to be a little bit careful. Beats 1, won't be able to beat the second, trying to beat him out in the corner here. Buffy, a nice pass centered, will be red though.
You see another shot on the goal there from Taha, unfortunately just a tad bit wide. Buffy gonna do a good job here making sure that we do not see Squidwards really being able to get past that 50-yard line. They only have 75 seconds to find some sort of response, and I thought they were going to be able to go low. Unfortunately, not the case. Gio tries to go the opposite way. Big save from Buffy.
Massive save. The iron wall of Icon will block another, but defense not what you need right now. You got 1 minute remaining, still down 1, under 60 to play. Geodes and company now, they're gonna charge right through midfield. Buffy awkwardly jumps that one off into the air as will be West taking the ball on their own. A nice little trickery play, but the third player just can't find the right touch.
That was a very well done to be able to just kind of be disruptive on the defense, making it so that wasn't easy. And now it's 30 seconds here, and Icon still looking to try and strike gold. Gio doing a good job of stuffing that one on the goal line here. Also a second touch, leave things forward. Gio should be able to put that over Buffy,
Boost.
And that's going to be a second goal, and I think that should just about wrap this thing up.
I mean, Icon had no boost other than on Taha. Like Buffy just unable to make plays. No boost in the tank. Second goal, like you said, it definitely hurts your Squidwards, though. Such a good series so far. Already up 2-0. And holding a team scoreless has got to feel so good. Not for just 1 game, but for 2. We'll see if they can maybe find a third. Why not? The fast shot from Geoids.
And you see the hats coming out with just 9 seconds left. Geoid's going to be able to come in with the hat trick. And one thing that I was going to point out about the second goal before the third one came across was just the patience that we had seen, right? You saw the quick reset to make sure you didn't overcommit to that one ball, which allowed them to make the play to get in front of the other one. And now it's just the wheels are falling off here, Llama.
Yeah, it is Taha just diving forward. Unfortunately, I think they get a demo as well, so don't have full strength on their players. Squidward lines up their 4th goal. If it was enough, they're piling on, Q.
Now, we mentioned earlier that when we saw this Icon team yesterday in a charity event, they made quite the lower bracket run. So them making lower bracket runs isn't unfamiliar for them. It's definitely not as soon as they would have it's probably sooner than they would have liked to have been going down to that lower bracket, but being just less than 24 hour removed from a good lower bracket run, I'm sure they're not completely decimated as far as the mental, right?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. It's tough
Two
losing a
shutouts is
series that
tough. Yeah.
two shutouts is tough to deal with. But like you said, they are lower bracket monsters. I have some faith in them that they have that second life. They're gonna use it now for Squidwards, though. What a series for them!
Yeah.
What a tournament so far! Yet another sweep here. They're gonna be moving on to the winners final. And you talk about that game. Yeah, we extend the series out to a best of 5, but you can literally see the grand final. It's right in your sightlines. You win one series, you're guaranteed a spot there.
Yeah, I think they've long been living in the shadows of the SpongeBobs of the worlds here, and they really want to make sure they can show out here as far as for number 95 this week. And man, if they can continue playing that style of ball, again, it wasn't just their offense, their defense doing very well, and also they were playing fast. While at times we saw that they don't overcommit too. It's just textbook.
Yeah, it really is. And, the shutout. So we talked about how it can be a mental detriment if you're the team that got shut out. But how about doing two shutouts back to back and getting some goals to carry with you into the next series? The momentum, the confidence, it's got to be at its highest peak right now.
Yeah, definitely got to be feeling good there. Now, the one thing that is going to be important for them as we are looking at this bracket here, they are going to sit maybe a little bit longer than they would have to, right? So you got to make sure you can keep the thumbs warm. You can keep that mental in a good spot here because they're still waiting for that other, what was that, be a quarterfinal matchup to finish out before that team can actually do their semifinal matchup. So you want to make sure that you can stay kind of in that zone. They're going to have to wait a little bit here.
They're gonna have to wait a little bit, but we were talking about that bracket. Subbro and Nightblood, both an opportunity for them to play. I mean, those are names that are, very in the Frost tournaments almost week after week. So not going to be an easy challenge nonetheless. But speaking about new things on Frost, again with the rebrand, we got new merch, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, gotta shout out. If you want to order yourself some nice, comfy Frost stuff, make sure to do it.
Yeah, you got to make sure you can pick up something. It all looks, I mean, quite crisp. I mean, I would look, yeah, I feel like I'd be chilling in one of those hoodies there. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you definitely swing through, check it out, get you some customized gear. Also, remember with the rebrand, you also exclamation point merch there to be able to check that out there so you can actually kind of see what you want to get. But also, you had mentioned plenty of new things here coming with the rebrand. We've got to have new events. We're going to have new creators here that we're going to be picking up here soon to help join the ranks. So a lot of big things coming. So if you're wanting to stay up to date on that, join the Discord, exclamation point Discord and chat. Also make sure that you're checking out things on the Twitter as well.
Keep up to date with all the notifications. Like we said, most of the stuff is going to happen in the Discord. So if you're not in there, you're not going to know about it. You might be missing out. Those applications will be out soon, like you mentioned for that. But yeah, make sure to order yourself some merch. I mean, all of this new stuff, really amazing. Everybody behind the scenes got to give them a hand for all the work they put in for this one.
Yeah, I mean, really, this has been a long time coming, and it's the first of many big things here to come as well over here for Frost Esports. So again, make sure you're checking out the Discord. Get in there if you're not in there, man. Also, make sure you're helping spread the word as well. Getting on Twitter, sharing with your friends, tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody about it. But we are going to be back with more Frost Esports action here right after a quick break.
yourself. I have an open invitation, but you're telling me go get lost. I don't wanna see your face. Yeah, what the hell? So why don't we stay out till the morning light? Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. Some Chardonnay, we camp in the parking lot. Leave traces of plastic cups. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. I have come, it's cold and losing my control. It's crazy. You could save me from my isolation. My too complicated. I stop these conversations. Control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. No relation. We got no relation. No relation. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it goes like this. You could save me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Frost Esports. Still here with our Blizzard number 95 as we progress further and further in the tournament bracket. We got a really good another semifinal matchup waiting for us around the bend. But Q, we got a whole new stream look today. Tell me a little bit more about what's happening.
I mean, we just got a whole bunch of new. First off, it looks super fresh, and we look super fresh, but that's besides the point. But, you know, with the rebranding going on, we're going to have new events coming up, new teams that are going to be there's going to be opportunities for new creators to be potentially able to come on board with Frost as well. So for people want to make sure that they're keeping up to date with when these things are coming about, make sure y'all are in the Discord. Also, make sure you're helping spread the word over on Twitter. Tell somebody to tell somebody, you know?
Yeah, tell somebody, get everybody in here. Make sure you're bringing everybody in here. Talking about bringing it in here, make sure you're following the Twitch. I know you're watching us, but hit that follow button. Make sure those notifications are turned on. We run those events like you talked about every single week. Monday Rocket League and Thursday Valorant, at least that we know of so far. So yeah, going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you're keeping the notifications on for us.
Yeah, you want to make sure, and plus, I think one thing that I love too is sometimes you'll find some organizations like you run a couple days a week, but it's always the same, same game. You get to get a little taste of a couple of different things going on over here, and who doesn't love a little bit of diversity when it comes to that palette?
Yeah, so many different games. I love different games. I cast so many different games, so it's fun to see so
You and
many
I both, yeah.
different games. Yeah, yeah, that's very true. But yeah, talking about it as well. Maybe you were talking about getting into these. You can also do that through the Discord. They are free to join for any team. Bring your team, and a lot of teams are bringing their team and bringing their high level of play. And like we talked about, we are going to be seeing another semifinals matchup because the bracket a little bit slower on the bottom side, but that's okay. We just get to see more Rocket League.
Yeah, it gives us an extra game that we get to see here, but that does mean that we are still in that winner's bracket semifinal. So it's still a best of 3. So our teams don't have very much time to be able to get the read on one another and see what's going on, to be able to figure out to put a game plan to make sure that they are able to meet up with Squidwards in that winner's bracket final. Because, of course, once you're in that winner's bracket final, you guarantee yourself a top 3. That gives you some cred around these blocks. You know what I'm saying?
Does. And you guarantee yourself at least one chance to fight for that grand finals, right? You either get that winner's final opportunity or you get that lower bracket final opportunity, or both, necessarily if you lose that first matchup. But this matchup is going to be very exciting. Now, we talked about Nightblood Gaming, a squad that we have talked about many, many times before, a nice organization that comes in these Frost tournaments very, very often, but they're going to be playing Gulp. Now, you might be saying, that name doesn't ring familiar to me, but we're talking about Brock, we're talking about Gopher, and we're talking about Tide. 3 really big names that have come together to play today.
Yeah, it was interesting. We were kind of sitting in the green room, kind of waiting to see who was going to be the one that advanced. We're like, oh, Gulp, what? Who's that? And they're like, oh, no. Yeah, that definitely makes sense looking at that roster here. So, here it's going to be up to Nightblood Gaming to try and see if they can be able to really seize control early. We do see that, at least for now, Gulp's been able to keep things alive in the offensive zone, but Optic gets a touch going the opposite way. That's going to be one touch, gets sent to the side, but Otis wants to make sure that they're being relentless. They're not letting this thing leave this offensive third for them.
Not letting it leave just yet. Finally will float to the sky here as no blood drawn in that first 30 seconds. Nightblood, though, looking to draw the first blood here with some nice passing plays. Bounces right in front of that goal line, but no secondary player to follow that up. Optic falling from the skies to make sure they keep that pinch to keep it in. And like you said, added pressure, keeping it up, but Brock is going the other way. A 2v1, and it floats right in.
And I'm wondering here, when we watch back this replay, I can't help but wonder if Optic was seeing the read coming from Tide coming across and was expecting that touch, and instead the ball just goes all the way over to that upper left-hand corner, basically uncontested.
Uncontested indeed. The first goal comes about a minute into this first game. As a reminder, we are still in the semifinals, so it is going to be sticking with that best of 3. So this first game is an important one. And Gulp, they're coming out to a very early start. I gotta say, though, Nightblood, they've shown some good offense, but those single mistakes can really cost you and might cost you again.
Doubling it up here. It only took a minute and 20 seconds, and Gulp has been able to get 2 of them things. So Nightblood Gaming gotta find a way to start putting the clamps down. They also gotta find a way to start getting into that offensive zone. They've only gotten 1 shot so far.
Only 1 shot to work with. That have had opportunities, like we said, but just have not been able to capitalize off of them. How about some offense once again from Gulp? You got to say their passing plays have already started to look so clean. Both of those first 2 goals being assisted here. Gopher, though, is going to try and assist their team. Bounces back dangerously and awkward everywhere. It's going to be a goal from Nightblood Gaming.
Hey, you know what, though? Sometimes you just try and go for the clears, and it works out in your favor. Sometimes you just try and see if you can get that team to, retreat back and get some people out of position, get some boosts on the way. But sometimes you just need to make sure you put the ball in front of everyone else.
fireball there. It also looks like Brock may have had an issue with their car, spun out just a little bit, but nonetheless, you take those for Gulp. Now the lead cut down in half with still 3 minutes left to play. So out in the corner, we'll see what Gopher can do in their defensive half, clearing it out really quickly. Yokes picking up that large chunk of boost. Now we'll have to play the defensive man. A nice touch to get that up and over everyone, but now Gulp is doing a good job of keeping this in the zone.
Yeah, I'm really liking to see the pressure from them. They are going to have to release back and make sure they can rotate to defense. That was just a tad bit high from Optic there. I don't think that actually hit the crossbar. I think that technically came off the backboard, but regardless, it is Gulp now trying to flip it and reverse it. Tide gets the second touch off the side, or the corner. Brock sends it off the sidewall, but Kofer still sitting back at that midfield line. I think realizing they were the last one that needed to make sure that they could be back if needed. But now all of a sudden, Tide should be able to feel clean and clear to play very aggressive up in this front zone.
Kofer will get beat here, though, unfortunately. It's going to be the final player back. Tide will get bumped. There's a player. The shot is so good, but the defense is just a little bit better from Gulp. They save out that shot, and now they'll try to turn it away, but Nightblood Gaming, they want to apply this pressure. Yokes won't be able to get a touch on it up in the air, but kept in by the teammates. The rotations are looking good. They're dangerously playing this high line, and Gopher is going to get a touch over the defense. The high line will be punished, and Brock will find the shot.
Yeah, this is just very well done here. You can see Kofer passes that thing ahead to Brock, and Optic was, I think, thinking about contesting up on that first pass. Unfortunately, turned around, didn't get up in the air. I think if they would have just jumped, might have been able to get a nose on it. Instead, Gulp now going to be up by 2.
Up by 2, the teamwork pays off once again. The high line being super punished. Nightblood Gaming, they tried to apply the pressure, but Gulp knew when exactly to apply pressure of their own. Some good kickoff pressure from Nightblood Gaming, but now down to a minute and a half. You're talking about a 2-goal deficit is what you have to climb out of. This is tough where, you know, it has been Gulp's defense just shutting them down.
Yeah, I mean, Gulp's just been doing such a good job of, one, starting with that pressure up early. When they're in the offensive zone, they don't give them free releases into the offensive territory. Kind of like we're going to see right here from Brock, right? Almost got the second touch even on that ball back from Optic. But then once they're in the zone, they do a good job of controlling things, so there's no free runs, which then makes it really tough for Nightblood Gaming because it just feels like you're trying to make something work, but they're able to figure it out right there.
This is huge, actually. Yokes Otis going to combine for this shot, and we talked about it. 2-goal deficit now is going to be cut down to 1. They've already done this once this game, but they will do it again here. A huge shot there. Nightblood Gaming that has to give you some confidence, and with a minute left, they're going to still need one more, though, Q.
Oh, and it looks like it's going to be right there off the kickoff from Otis. Otis says, Yokes got one. Optic got one. I ain't going to be the only one down here without one. Let me go ahead and get mine as well.
Optic did such a good job. Not only beat 2 people, but also kind of did a tiny bump there to make sure the Gulp defenders could not get back to it. So huge stuff here from Nightblood Gaming. Scores back-to-back here. One off of that kickoff so quickly coming. So they are now down to Tide. Brock, though, with a very quick shot. Gulp. These shots coming in, flying in. Brock looking for one more, though, up into the air. It's going to be Yokes. Reading that out, gets a nice little soft touch, but that's not enough to clear it, and we got 30 seconds left.
I think we might just be looking at an overtime here, but don't call it over yet. Nightblood Gaming with the beautiful redirect from Optic here, and that's with 20 seconds left. Can Gulp deliver with the response?
I mean, boy, they are on a run, though, Q. I mean, so many goals in under a minute now. I believe 3 in under a minute.
Yep.
The 4th one coming close to that as well. So, very good job from Nightblood Gaming. They are holding their line, holding their persistence here. Down to the final 15 seconds. Like you said, it has to be a response from Gulp. A nice shot will go just a little bit wide of the post. Now on single digits. We'll go up back to the midfield once more. 5 on the clock. It's got to be a 0-second play. Optic's going to bounce it off the ground. It's just a little bit too short. Brock got to keep it up in the air, bouncing down. Nice bounce off the backboard, and Nightblood Gaming take game number 1.
And Nightblood Gaming able to hit. What a resurgence really there in the back half of that game. Let's not forget, Gulp was up 3-1. I believe it was 2-0, 2-1, then 3-1. You mentioned all within a minute, able to regain that lead. Gulp's got to be taking themselves a minute, I would imagine, before wanting to get back in here for game number 2.
And they're taking their namesake. They're taking a gulp here after that first game because, like you said, they were up 2-0 and 3-1 at different points in the game. It was just Nightblood Gaming. As soon as they smelled some blood in the water, they were feasting like sharks. They were going crazy. So many goals back to back to back to back. And maybe it was a little bit of mistakes. I mean, those were some of the easier shots, I would have to say, of that series. So, right now, I got to be feeling a little bit tough if I'm Gulp, but you still only 1-goal games, still had some really good consistent offense, so going into game number 2, we'll see what they change.
Yeah, it's interesting how Rocket League can work, because it really can be where you go goalless for the first couple of minutes, and all of a sudden you run it up in about 60, 90 seconds, and that's all you find, and that's all it took that last game from Nightblood Gaming. The thing that was also really big to see on their stat line was how many saves they had. I mean, their defense really looked good.
Defense looked good, and eventually that applied pressure cracked Gulp's defense of their own. So see whose defense cracks first. It looks like it's gonna be Nightblood's, but what a nice save there. Goes, coast to coast there to make that one. So lovely stuff so far. The defense strikes once more. Off the wall though, contests are happening. Yoke's gonna try and go up for it, but no plays is there to be had.
Otis, I think, was trying to rise to the sky, but Brock doing a good job of getting there first. Tide hits it off to the corner. Yokes will knock that thing to the side. Actually passes that thing up to Optic, who centers it back for Yokes. Drops it down, but Brock comes in with the save. Otis off the rebound, and Kofer with the save here as well. Now it's going to be Tide trying to go the opposite way. Sitting in the corner here. Not going to be able to get past Yokes, though. Kofer, oh no, that was actually Brock who was able to pass it up to Kofer. Back to Brock! And man, that looked like that should have found the back of the net.
It really felt like it, but that post, everyone can hear that one ringing in this stadium, and it is going to be still scoreless here out of our first minute and 30 seconds. Nightblood and Gulp both have had opportunities. Optic, though, with a nice read. That has been huge from Nightblood Gaming, is, cutting off these passes before they can reach the intended target. Optic as well off the backboard, going to make sure there's no secondary touch there. Tide trying to control their Tide, the flow of the game here. Otis, though, a nice little bouncing touch. Will get bounced to the corner for now. Brock just trying with no boost to clear it out.
Brock getting fancy over one, leaves it off. I think was waiting for the teammate, but good job by Nightblood Gaming's defense. It's actually all three players working together to be able to get the clear. Otis sends that across, but it is Tide able to clean it up in front of the net. It's actually going to come off the backboard here, still in that Nightblood third. Brock's going to send that in, but that's going to go just a tad bit high. Followed up, though, by Brock as well, and that's going to be Gulp hitting the goal first here on game number 2.
I mean, you said it. Brock did not give up on the play. Says, you know what? They call it an alley-oop, but it's a self alley-oop. Bouncing off the backboard, slams it in themselves. And Brock, what a way to find that first goal. Not giving up on the play, getting the secondary touch, and maybe here off a kickoff, Tide hits a roller.
Yeah, I mean, really just, look at this off the draw. Being able to get just enough of a touch. I don't know if that was actually, I don't think it mattered with the bump coming in. I think that was going to be going on to target regardless. But man, right off kickoff, after you strike first, to be able to double it up, that's tough here on the side of Nightblood Gaming.
It is tough, but there's still time. That's the most important thing. 2.5 minutes still left to go in this game number 2. And if we remember the last game, I don't think Nightblood Gaming are just going to lay down their arms so easily.
Yeah, I mean, we do know that Nightblood Gaming has shown that resistance already here this evening on stream, right? And I think if you're sitting at this point, I mean, you're still sitting plenty of time to make something happen, but you got to start showing some progress. They've only gotten 2 shots on goal thus far in the game. It's not like you've had a bunch of shots and you're just waiting for law of averages to start playing it out. You got to go out there and make something happen here in the next, 30 seconds.
And it's also possible you don't have the greatest performance you have in that final minute that you did in the last game. Like we talked about, it was some simpler shots they were connecting on, and those aren't going to connect every single time. So you got to get some plays going right now. Again, you still do have the series lead, but right now scoreless in this second one.
I mean, still technically time, right? You're sitting at 93 seconds here, and you talk about the first goal that you find cuts this lead down to just 1, but I mean, now at this point, you're sitting back in your defensive zone. The time continues to tick. Optic, though, going to send things ahead. I think was hoping to maybe be able to pass it off to the teammate. Yolks going to help Optic to actually push it into the offensive zone. But once again, Tide going to clean up on that goal line.
Tide doing a good job holding the defense down here, though. Otis maybe up off the ceiling, looking for a secondary bounce. Yoke gonna pass it on back. Nice passing there. What a play. The ping pong connects.
Yeah, able to do just enough there. Yokes is able to get that back pass to Optic, and man, Kofer, I mean, just another inch or two, probably gets that thing to bang off the side post, and it's still a 2-goal lead. But the question is, since you allowed to, can you find the second without allowing another on your side for Nightblood Gaming?
Usually we would say a minute left. That's, tough to find a couple of goals in, but Nightblood Gaming, they have perfectly worked within this final minute already once in the last game, now looking to do it once more, approaching the final half minute of the game. What can their offense do right now on defense? Not the greatest spot to be. A dangerous pass as well as they get out to the corner. Some good passing from Gulp as well, and time ticks down even lower.
How about Yokes, though, going to have boost. Nice job by Brock to be able to send that thing to the side. Now Brock still in the air. If they can win this contest and knock that down below, Yokes drops it off the backboard for Kofer. And with only 14 seconds left on the clock, I think this is going to get tied up at 1.
They just got to defend their kickoff right here after. But like you said, some good passing. Kofer, Brock connecting for that one, adding the third onto Gulp's scoreboard. So we'll see in this second game. We'll see if Nightblood Gaming can do anything off the kickoff. It looks like they'll win it, but kind of awkwardly down to single digits. They need to go fast. The demo is good, but Kofer is better. Unfortunately, it bounces down. No time left on the clock to really get any plays done. So it is going to be Gulp taking this second game. As soon as this one hits the ground, maybe one more shot on the board.
Brock was trying to actually send that thing up into the goal, and actually Brock follows it up this time as well. And 4-1. I feel like Gulp really wanted to make sure that they could really drive home a message there, keeping that ball up with zeros on the clock.
That was a statement win if there ever was one. Gulp, they take that second game, and now we go to the final one. One game on either side. Again, a best of 3. This will be the match that decides who moves on into that winner's final. But yeah, I mean, you can see it on the shot chart, especially. Brock with 6, Tied with 3, and Kofer with 2. I mean, Brock had as many shots as the entirety of Nightblood Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, really, we see on their side, I mean, Gulp just doing a good job of dictating the pace. One, lobbing a bunch of shots on their end, but also their defense doing a great job, technically coming up with more saves than Nightblood Gaming did, just, I mean, based off of the math there, which is kind of really intriguing to kind of think about. So it feels like going into game number 3 here, momentum in the side of Gulp, but I don't think I can count out Nightblood Gaming just quite yet.
Yeah, you can't count them out. I feel like it was a little bit piling. There were a couple garbage time goals there, I felt like, at the end for Gulp. I felt like it was a little bit closer than that 4-1 scoreline, but now you go into game 3, I really think, like, they need to come out swinging. We've said this a couple times before in the tournament, but off of those kind of, stale kind of losses where you don't really get the offense super involved, you got to go crazy in the first 2 minutes. That's really the defining factor, because if you don't, that staleness is just going to take over.
Yeah, and I think it's just not only the way that things are playing on the field, but then also how it feels on the mental. But talking about mental, when you have Gulp coming out and putting a goal on the board in just 3 seconds, you got to start to worry about that mental over on that Nightblood Gaming side of the pitch.
Yeah, and kickoff goal especially 3 seconds in definitely does not feel good. Gulp up 1-0 to start out this third game. The last game of the series, like we mentioned, winner of this one will move on to that winner's final. An exciting best of 5 series, but right now let's focus on this one. 5 minutes still on the clock-ish for Nightblood Gaming to try and find that bounce back. And I really do believe they can. Just got to adapt after that first goal slid in.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is it's only one, at least for now, right? So you just got to make sure that your defense can lock it in. and you can try and continue to just sort of pepper on the other side. You mentioned how much time is on the clock. There's so much left here. I don't think you have to pressure yourself on the fact that it's a best of one essentially here and you're in the deficit. I mean, one goal is nothing in Rocket League, but you got to make sure that when you go into the offensive zone, you get more than just a couple of touches that go towards the corner. You got to start putting up some, good attacks towards the net.
And I really do feel like as well for Nightblood Gaming to seem dangerous in this matchup, in this third game, you got to score goals earlier. Like the first game, they had those rally of goals in the final minute. The last game, it seemed like it was the final minute again where they were getting their pressure. They need to get it before. And look at this. The plays are there. Kofer waiting for the touch off the backboard. They're too slow, though. The pass, not good enough, not fast enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, had pretty much to try and get some sort of oomph from a standstill, which allowed that ball to be a nice, slow enough of a roller for the defender to be able to come in for the save. But we do still see sending in a shot there. Going to be Kofer. Gets knocked aside by Quarantine. Nightblood Gaming here needs to find something. It's almost 2 minutes in, and they have yet to record a shot.
Nothing really on the offensive set, and already let that first kickoff goal in. They are trying to slow it down a little bit, not let any more goals in from Gulp. It is good news for them right now, but see what the printing press has stored for them the next morning. Brock almost making headlines with that shot right there. Brock gets beat though, no boost here. They're going the other way. Ty though has a good little flip up in the air to make sure that one gets redirected to safety.
And it was looking dangerous there for a second for Gulp, but able to get the clear. Now you got to see if you can get some sort of a reset. Brock's actually going to be able to win the contest off of that reset there in the air. Kofer going to knock things aside. Got to make sure with 2.5 minutes left, you just continue to button things up around the edges. Optic, though, nice play on the goal line.
Optic, great defense as the final person there to be able to make that stop. But now the other way, Optic will get a nice little pass to midfield. Cut down short by Brock. So some ping pong back and forth as both these teams try to take that control back towards their own goal. Still holding on to that 1-goal lead they found in that first 3 seconds. Been holding on to it for 3 straight minutes unanswered, but haven't found another answer themselves. Haven't added to the total. Maybe on this drive, Brock, no boost to work with, though. We'll have to bank on side.
And no boosto is a big problem if you're trying to get up out of the defensive zone here. Nightblood Gaming going to get met at the midfield line by Brock. Able to actually get that touch off the corner before Yokes tries to flip the field. They're actually going to do a good job to make sure they push up into this Gulp's third of the pitch. Also seeing that they're trying to control the boost, but Brock says, nah, man, we're going the opposite way. Over one, but Quarantine making sure that those rotations on point.
Yeah, rotation's good. Defense very solid right now from Nightblood Gaming. Of course, Brock gonna get some shots right after. Off the backboard, off the sideboards, right after another. Go for the right in midfield. Uses almost all their boost to try and keep this shot up. Use the remainder to try and get one more touch. Brock, the passing looking good. Setting up Gulp's team as we are under 1 minute. And the shot from Kofer, the 5th shot of theirs, will finally hit the back.
And this is just beautiful work here by Brock to center that thing up. Kofer going to be able to drill that thing far enough into that right side that Quarantine just doesn't have a shot at it. Now you got to hope to see some sort of miracle, maybe not necessarily off the kickoff, but you got to score here quickly if Nightblood Gaming has a chance.
Gotta score quickly, but like we've said before, in that game number 1, that final minute was their comfort zone. Now we've got to see it. You got 30 seconds on the clock. How are you going to work it? How about a nice shot there? Beautiful from Ty, just draining some more time off of this clock. Off into their own corner, Brock just has a full tank of boost, trying to clear it. So many fast shots, the high line being played, but a clear again.
Yeah, it felt like that had to be the opportunity there. Unfortunately, on the contest, not able to get there in time. It gets knocked to the side. And now with just 15 seconds left on the clock, it does look like Nightblood Gaming is going to look to have to rely on a lower bracket run as Tide goes ahead and gets themselves the goal. And it's every player once again on Gulp has one as well.
Brock to tied with a beautiful flip as well, right at the end of the play to flip it over the defender. Finding the third goal, and probably if it wasn't already sealed, putting some flex seal on that one on this series, on this game. It looks like Gulp is going to be winning it 3-0 once this ball does hit the ground. They'll also be taking the series 2-1. A nice little comeback for themselves.
So I gotta ask you a question here. Do you feel like on the side of Squidward's, kind of seeing how Gulp played a pretty strong game, but played rather aggressive, right? Do you feel like, one, do you think that they liked seeing them go the distance? Or do you think they would have preferred a sweep? That way they didn't have to wait so long? I guess that would be my first question to you.
I mean, first and foremost, before I'm going to avoid your question just for a second, just because
Fair.
I want to point out the shot differential. If we can take a look at that
Yeah.
for a little second. Gulp, what a crazy game. But back to your question. For, like you said, Squidward, they got to watch this game. They got to sit for a little bit of time. I honestly feel like I like it if I'm Squidward's this going to 3, because this shows that they do have some weaknesses. They do have some holes, and Squidward's being that fast of an offense, they really were punishing teams that were trying to play offensive against them.
Yeah, it seemed like they were always able to play just a little bit faster no matter how much people try to dictate the tone. That's why I was kind of curious to kind of pick your brain, because it definitely feels like it's two fast teams, and whoever can come out here early is going to be the one who puts themselves in a good situation. Plus, since we are going into that winter bracket final, we also have the potential to see a couple more games as well.
Speaking of that bracket, we are looking at it now. And speaking of Nightblood Gaming, they're not done. I mean, they did take a loss up here in the upper bracket, but they got the safety net. They got the second chance. They will be going down to play DBD Money. That is a tough matchup. We saw them just yesterday come out swinging in that charity tournament, but they are looking good. I think Gulp looking good as well, and I think that best of 5 is going to be one of the best matches of the night.
Yeah, I'm glad that we get to see that thing over here, and I'm hoping we get to see that thing go the distance of all 5. But I know that we did take a little while to get through this upper bracket semifinal. I know Squidward's is wanting to get in here, so let's go ahead and take ourselves a very quick break. We'll be back with that upper bracket final here after this.
myself. I have an open invitation, but you're telling me go get lost. I don't wanna see your face. Yeah, what the hell? So why don't we stay out to the morning light? Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. Some Chardonnay, we camp in the parking lot. Leave traces of plastic cups. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get, so what the hell? Yeah, what the hell? So what the hell? So what the hell? What are you waiting for now? And what the hell? You're pretending that you like somebody else. Like you got boys waiting in line to take you home. But tell the truth, you'll spend the night alone. Let's be alone. So why don't we stay out to the morning light? Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself?
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Frosty Esports. Still here with our Blizzard number 95. Quickly approaching that number 100 mark, I'd have to say. But we are moving on forward in the tournament bracket, and we are going to be looking at the winners final. A big series, a big best of 5. And Q, tell the viewers what you get if you win this series.
Well, you get yourself an automatic trip to that grand final, lock in a top 2 finish for you. But also more important, since you are going to be the one advancing to that grand final from the upper bracket, you give yourself a game advantage in that best of 7. So big things at stake here, and two teams that we expect to be playing very fast. This should be a banger.
This should be an exciting one. Like you said, that game advantage, what everybody wants to have. But Brock wants a goal here. Fast flying one here, 20 seconds in.
And it did not take very much time. They had to get 2 shots on goal in the first 20 seconds. The second one is going to be able to find the back of the net. If there's one thing that we know about Gulps, if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. This is a squad that's got a lot of experience, and I'm sure taking that lead early has them feeling good.
A lot of experience, some big names on this squad here today, but first Squidward's, like we said, it is the squad that will come out faster because both these teams really high flying offense. Squidward, a nice shot there, almost threading the needle, actually tied. The final player able to get that block, but Squidward's there, not done. The bounce is off the backboard, the bounce is back to Aegis here in midfield. Will get bumped out the way. A dangerous little clearing pass, but Geoid should be able to receive this one cleanly.
Oh, but of course, as you say that caster curse comes in, Kofor going to be able to get that second touch off the backboard. Brock's going to make sure this thing doesn't leave the zone. Tide comes in, puts a shot onto goal, but Geoids is going to be able to at least come in with the save. Kofor going to make him work, pass over to Tide. That's going to be a big demo. That should alleviate some of the pressure off of this attack. The question is, can you then flip it and reverse it? Geoids going to at least quickly send it into the Gulf half of the pitch.
Jids gets a nice touch to at least enter into the zone, but a little bit of back and forth. A nice little soft touch there from some of the Squidward's players as they continue to put the pressure on. Forward reveal is going to hit a nice big doink off the crossbar. So close to connecting towards that goal, but now the other way. Gulp, the counter attack has been looking strong. They got 2 players, but there's 2 defending players as the iron wall holds strong.
Yeah, and I really like the job by Reveal. Didn't get a touch on the ball there, but did a good job following it and making sure that if the first defender missed, they were lined up for it there. And I want to make sure over on the side of Squidward's, you've given yourself a deficit early. You don't want that thing to grow. They've been doing a good job thus far of slowing down the offense, but when I say slowing down the offense, I mean just stopping the actual shots. They've allowed 7 of them things thus far. They need to find a way to flip the pressure off this field because they've only found 2 shots in their own right.
The pressure is definitely on them right now, and that's really Kofor, Brock. The connections, those mid-air passes really working out. Just add that extra layer, make every single shot possibly one that can score. Off into the corner here, Kofor gonna try and maybe have to rotate back up. Looks like Tide out for blood in the mid-air. Was actually Brock there, was trying to get some bumps, get some, extra motivation to get those players out of the skies, get some extra touches for themselves. Tide this time gets a ring around the rosy, shot and in.
Yeah, but you know what? Ashes, they all eventually fall down here as that thing goes ringing right around reveal. Eventually, we're just going to punch that thing in the way that they're rolling down the middle there as well. And now Squidward's is going to need a goal every minute here just to force an overtime, whereas they've only been able to get 2 shots. Going to make that a very tall ask.
It's once again Gulp, just that passing pressure, every single one of them. We talked about the experience, the names on this squad, that every single one of them can be a scoring player. Talk about scoring, Squidward's almost scoring one of their own ages, though not back quick enough, but the shot is just a little bit too off target. That's okay, very close, another good shot for Gulp as they continue their offensive prowess going here. Kofor off the backboard, won't be able to get up and find it. The teammate unable to find it as well. A couple mistouch, but Tide will take a demo on that rotation.
Yeah, and it did allow them to quickly flip the pressure just a little bit. Almost actually sent that thing in that bottom right-hand corner, but Brock gonna rise to the sky. Gets contested by 2 here, but Geoid's gonna go ahead and try and pass that thing up. I think was looking for a teammate, but once again, that defense doing a good job on the Gulp side. And another save from Kofor here as well.
Such good defense here from Gulp, not letting anything in. You mentioned before that you had 2 minutes to cut into this lead. Now you only got 1 for Squidward. Still down 2 here. Gonna have to find that magical offense they showed us before. Aegis, a nice shot, but defenders are there once again off the corner. Maybe a secondary touch here. The answer is no. They have all the answers, Gulp. They must have, the test book. They pulled the back page out. They got everything.
Yeah, I mean, Gulp just really in their bag right now, in full control, and also going to get a third of them as well, with Tide getting their 2nd goal. And it feels like really just trying to prove a point, adding to that lead late.
To Kofor, to Tide, the passing plays, the winds in the air. They are doing everything, Q, already to take this lead. Not only take it, but add to it. The 3rd one definitely going to be hard to climb out of this one.
Man, you would like to find some sort of consolation prize here if you're Squidwards, because they have had some good trips into that offensive 3rd, but just unfortunately not able to take the top off of the defense. And I don't think Brock's going to allow them to do anything late here. It does get left off the backboard, but as that ball drops, it's going to be Gulp taking game number 1.
And Gulp take your game number 1. As a reminder, this is a long series, right? This is a best of 5, but that would not be how I would want to start out the series if I were Squidwards. Now, they didn't really match up 100% of the shot categories. They had still some okay things, I would have to say. They had some good shots, but Tide, Kofor, and Brock, it just seems like they were working so well together. I mean, the only 2 assists on the 3 goals, but it seemed like every single time they got down the offense, they were passing here and there, winning the 50s, and using their communication to their advantage.
And it puts such an extra stress on things, right? When you have teams of this caliber that not only have the individual skill, but also have that ability to be able to get their teammates involved as well. And you mentioned some of their passes looking very crisp, some of those set pieces looking very nice here. Now the question becomes, can Squidward start to shut things down just a little bit? Just slow it down enough to where they in turn can return with a jab or 2.
Yeah, well, it is going into game number 2, like we talked about. This best of 5 series could completely equalize it out here, but Gulp, if they win another, they're going to be on series point, would only have to win 1 more. So a lot of hypotheticals. Let's get into this actual game. 5 minutes once again on the clock. Back to zeros, and going to be already some dangerous touches near Squidward's goal.
And that was kind of fancy. I can get with it here, and they're also, I was going to say, not allow them to get up out of their defensive half, but they do very briefly. But you'll notice again, doing a very good job of playing fast, being a pest there on the defensive side, not sitting back and waiting for the offense to push into them. Now, we are going to see a little bit of a demo, which does allow for Squidward to regain control here. Unfortunately, though, they get stopped by Brock. But another demo, if they can continue to push things in, they might have the advantage here.
Might be able to gain some of that advantage. We'll be able to see Geoids is going to bounce it off the ceiling back to themselves, looking for a ground pinch. Unfortunately, the play won't work out this time. Back to the side wall for Aegis and Co. as they get back to their own plays. Reveal is going to try and go off that backboard, but once again, the communication just a little bit off, so Gulp will be able to try and get some offense set up of their own, but really looks like Squidward's controlling the flow right now. Reveal once again into the air, a nice touch off the backboard, but no teammates to follow up.
Yeah, Tide, though, going to be able to at least get the big clear and flip the field, but it's only for a second. I mean, Squidward's doing a good job in game number 2 to really kind of shut down Gulp's attack. They've only got one shot here. You can see now going to be passing things up to Reveal, who I think might have the lead on Kofor. Centers that thing up in the middle, but Brock doing a good job of getting a nose on him.
Getting a nose on it here. A nice extra shot for Squidward. And this game honestly does feel a little bit closer. It does feel like Squidward has sped up the pace a little bit more. But again, the scoreboard at the end of the day does not lie. Sitting 0-0. Neither team able to find the back of the net just yet. Gulp tries to lay it in. It looks like they're clear. Will be just a dump on in. Not really getting anything. Brock this time, no boost, but will try and set up the teammates.
Yeah, and almost worked to their advantage as well, but Aegis does a good job of making sure to get a nice little touch in front of the net. Now it's them going the opposite way. I thought that was a little bit of a miscommunication. Regardless, though, Brock gets a little bit of momentum on this ball, sends things up into the Squidward half, but only very briefly before it gets knocked back to Tide. And Tide gets contested. I'm really loving this defense that we're seeing from Squidwards here, Llama.
The defense is so good right now, but Brock is bumping through everybody, even their own teammates, so maybe can bump through to try and find that first goal. It really is going to be who can break through these strong defenses first. We talked about it, and going into this winners final, that it is going to be such a high level of play. You got to start to make those creative plays. You can't just go at it regular, because the defense will be able to beat it easy. Reveal trying to go aerial, won't find it that time.
Still, though, Squidward's keeping the ball down here. You feel like it's kind of like we've talked about earlier into this bracket, where if you can continue to pepper the net, continue to get the players from Gulp to continue to rotate, get themselves slowly more and more out of position. But man, it just seems like their rotation so crisp, so clean, that when you would think there's just enough of a chance because you've done a good job of controlling boost, they still somehow find a way to put themselves in a great defensive spot.
Still somehow find a way, but all right, we're approaching the final minute queue and still no goals on the board. Scoreless on both sides, so again, that first goal is going to be so huge here. Aegis and Go, though, right now in the back line have to deal with this offense. Go for the passing. It's not even a pass. It's a drop in from the heavens.
Oh, man, what a nice little teardrop here, but oh, Dash, the player coming in, just unfortunately needed a little bit of extra oomph coming off the ground there. Didn't have it. And just when it looked like maybe Squidwards were starting to piece things together, they're back in the deficit.
It felt like control was completely equal. Both defenses having such a good game so far, but Gulp, it is the solo plays, the drop, like we said, the good shots that can come out here in these later stages of the series. Right when Gulp needed it, they retake the lead, but still time left on the clock. Still one mistake that could capitalize off of. One score could equalize us out and send us to overtime, but they only got half a minute to do so.
Yeah, and I mean, you're also seeing, right, good job by just small touches here from Brock. Yeah, it's maybe not necessarily going forward any, but it is doing a good job of wasting a couple of seconds here and there, as we do see Squidward's now down to just the final 15. Geo's going to be able to keep it alive here, sent over. I think they were hoping Reveal was on that far left side. Maybe might be able to take it across now. Only has one player to beat, which is Kofor, but Tide gets back in time for the save.
Zero's on the clock, though. They got to do it, and they got to do it now. Keeping it off the ground is going to be Squidward's #1 priority. What a fake there off of the corner wall. Gulp is going to be taking this second game, and you see it in the chat. One more game for them. They move on to 2-0. What a performance.
I mean, and with Squidward sending 10 shots and not being able to get one to connect, has to have the squad over there feeling some type of way. And over on the side of Gulp, they've got a whole bunch of momentum on their side. What is it going to take, do you think, for Squidwards to be able to pull this off? Because at this point, we're in reverse sweep territory.
Yeah, it's tough. I really don't know. Brock was doing so good to get those saves and then just pressure where they could. And Gulp was even comfortable on a 1-0 scoreline. 0-0 even. They kept it clean for so long. So I really feel like demos might be the answer, but they could be your downfall. Like, you got to play more aggressive than them. You got to take that extra step forward. But if you demo Brock, we know there are still two good shooters on that team waiting.
Yeah, it's definitely tough here. I feel like we mentioned going into this, both teams like to play fast and aggressive. It just seems that Squidward's not able to keep quite to the pace of Gulp. And maybe it is just playing a little bit more reckless. Sometimes we feel like playing reckless gets you out of control, but maybe it's just enough unpredictability to be able to get yourself an advantage.
Unpredictability sometimes can go your way, sometimes not, but we know right now the predictable thing. Gulp up 2-0. One more game win out of the next 3 will get them a spot in that grand finals with all of the advantages we already talked about. They're starting early with some offense here. Gopher gonna try and go to the corner. Has no boost though, so it has to get control of the car.
Reveal though, gonna be able to at least get the pinch, sends that thing deep down into Gulp territory. Oh no, Geoids is going to actually miss that thing. They got to be able to get back. Going to get left off for Brock, who puts that thing into the upper right hand corner. And Gulp doesn't even need a minute to take the lead in game number 3.
I mean, you mentioned it. Gulp are just so good at recognizing every single little mistake. And Brock finds a beautiful shot. You leave it in a 1v1. You know it's going to happen. Like you said, a very early first goal from Gulp. They're looking so strong going into this game 3.
And now you got to try and see if you can make something happen here. Over on the side of Squidward. I like the, thought process there, but I'm going to need something more than just a little bit more creativity. I need to make sure that if you're sending those shots on the goal, they've got to have a little bit of mustard behind them, because otherwise Gulp's just going to very quickly flip the field.
I do got to say, the Gulp fans, 100% fan prediction and 10 Frosty Bucks. So many are on the line here for the Gulp fans. They're sitting pretty right now, and they're looking to go for another good offensive drive. Yeah,
I mean, it feels like the chat, not going to be the curse on this one by voting too heavy on one side. Definitely feels like, for good reason on the Gulp side of the field for now. And again, here in this game, maybe not necessarily completely dictating the pace because it is a little bit back and forth, but I don't feel like where we sometimes see teams when they get up 2-0, where they kind of let their foot off the gas. It definitely feels like they're very much in that same game plan.
Yeah, they're not giving up. They're taking, we talk about when you lose games to play games one game at a time, but you got to do that when you win too, right? You can't get super overconfident. You're talking about another team that made it here, that battled through to get to the winners final. So still playing up to that part is going to be important, and they are. They're holding onto this 1-0 lead, which we talked about before. It would make some teams uncomfortable, but for Gulp, they are so comfortable on the scoreline.
And now here for Squidwards. You've got half of the clock already expired, and still in a similar situation with a big old goose egg on your side of the scoreboard. What's it gonna take? You gotta find something to be able to crack the code, because as for now, it just seems that their touches in the offensive zone have no direction.
A little bit lackluster to say the least, but 2 minutes left to go. They can definitely improve that and show us why they belong here in this winners final battle pack. Like you said, the reverse sweep starts here, but Tide starts here with a nice airing shot. A second one will go through looking for up in that upper side. But we'll see, though. Now Tide contesting off in that midfield. Demo's going around. That might be the answer they need. But Gulp, that demo will run on forward here, picking up some boost, but the defense holds again.
And doing a good job of making sure that the rotation from defense to offense isn't free. You saw getting them caught over on that right side there, making sure that it allows the rest of the teammates to be able to complete their rotation and get back on to D here. And it's just been so tough for Squidwards to, once they get into that kind of half-court sort of game, to find any sort of momentum. It feels like Squidwards, what they need to do is come up with a good counterattack. The problem is, to come up with a good counterattack, you need to be able to catch Gulps making a mistake, and they're playing darn near flawless here.
Yeah, pretty much flawless here. Some bumps is what they're going to try and force out of the back of the net. Under a minute left to go. Again, we talk about it. A 1-goal lead. Still very, very unstable. A nice shot. There you go. The foundation will break, and the first shot will be scored from Squidwards.
And able to do a good job there of being able to contest in the corner. You saw, I think, Kofer was expecting that thing to go a little bit closer towards that right side boost coming out of the zone, and instead, no one able to make a play on the save. So 40 seconds here, though. You still got to make sure your defense can stand tall if you're Squidwards, or you just got to make sure you can go out and do that thing one more time.
Yeah, if you could get another goal here before that timer hits 0, it could be all towards your way. Reveal Geoids will be a little bit too slow off to the left side, a little bit wide on that one. The angle not good as well. The third shot as well. Can they keep pestering?
There it is.
The backboard shots. No, off the crossbar. 4 of them denied. Back to back to back to back, but they continue. They don't want to give up just yet. Geas will find it.
Sheesh, yo, busting out the protractor here as well with the nice angle off the ceiling as well to cut that thing over as far to the goalpost as you can. And only 13 seconds. I think we're going to see ourselves a game 4.
It seems so. I mean, there is still the 0-second plays. There is still some time left for Gulp here. If they can try to formulate a play in the late seconds. There you go, Kofer. Ooh, the shot does get blocked. Squidward's a good job to play towards that final second. And Brock is saying it once more. Squidwards, they take the win. Still one more game here, and they can take it.
I gotta say, though, man, it feels like it took so much from Squidwards there to just get your first game. 12 shots to be able to take a lead of 2-1. And it almost still ended up getting forced to overtime there as well off some last second miracle from Gulp. So, I mean, maybe you can take a second to, stretch out the hands, but I feel like the pressure is still very much on Squidwards.
Yeah, I feel like it is, but it also felt like Gulp wasn't playing as fast as they have in their previous series, right? Like, we talked about this going into it. Like, Gulp and Squidwards were both these two fast-paced teams that were going to try and outpace each other. And Gulp just said, you know what? We'll just slow down. Let's take our foot a little bit off the gas. Play. We know we can trust our defense. We can trust our communication. So just play until they make a mistake.
So here's the question. Does Squidwards, after game number 3 there, do they have the formula to be able to pull off this reverse sweep? Or do you think Gulp shuts them down here in game number 4?
I don't know. I really still feel like Gulp had the reins on that game for a majority of it. So and again, Gulp still has the series advantage. They're still up 1 game, and Tide maybe right off kickoff, just barely save. But I think Gulp has a little bit of advantage, but I want to be proven wrong.
I would love to see a game number 5 here because I feel like we need something to really show just how tightly contested these teams are, not just from the eye test, but also on the scoreboard here as well. But it is going to be up to Squidwards to try and make that happen for these first 30 seconds here. No real early attack on either side. Brock going to be able to at least send that thing up towards the mid pitch, but Reveal, make sure that they do not allow an early flip of the field.
Don't allow those early counterattacks. Got to be important here. Bouncing for a couple of times, bouncy ball, but bounces into Gulp's defensive zone. They should be good to clear that one out. Some nice micro passing there to get it out of that defensive zone. And now Reveal, though, really good job. Gets the demo, too, on the way out. That one is free. Take the freebie for sure. So no real action in the first minute. Some good passing, I'll have to say, from Squidwards.
Yeah, I'm really liking to see the teamwork here. And that makes it a little bit more of a treacherous defense, kind of like we've talked in the past. If you can get every player involved, that's going to get sent into the territory very deep. Pass over to reveal. Big shot here, but Kofor comes in with a big stop, and now we're actually going to see the tides turn here as they try to go ahead with this attack, but reveal with a big stop.
Yeah, reveal was the only person back, so really good to get that save, and a tight one at that. I gotta say though, Squidward, they put some polish on their passing in between this and the last game, looking very clean, getting a lot of opportunities, but as we know in this series, opportunities don't necessarily mean goals. They need to find a little bit more creative passes to find the back of the net. 2 minutes are gone here, Aegis almost with the first.
Now with that 2-minute mark expired, I feel like the longer this thing remains scoreless, I gotta lean in favor of Gulp. They have shown us more of the ability within this series to find the answers. Thought we were going to see Brock make one there, but a big save coming in. Kofor keeps the drive alive. Tide, I was going to say Tide, I thought could at least send it to the corner. I think might not have gotten enough, and it's going to be revealed going the opposite way. Corner shot from there, but it is going to be just not enough as Tide comes in with the save.
Yeah, so many of these shots being blocked by just inches here. Shots being registered on almost all of Squidward's players now as 2 on Aegis. They try to walk on forward off to the corner, trying to add some more shots. Maybe their first goal. A demo there will slow them down for just a little bit of time. Gulp will try and hit this reset and try and get this defense going. Go for a really good read to make sure those passes are being stunted. Reveal. Dangerous pop-up, but will be beaten out by Tide. More demos, more car parts on the field.
And just the explosions around the field let you know that these two teams really duking it out here, trying to see what they can do to expose any sort of opening to be able to find the attack. Because we're still all tied up at 0, and both teams sitting at 4 and 5 shots. I mean, the defense is really both putting on a clinic.
And they're both looking so good. I was almost gonna say bad things there, but no cast to curse indeed. Squidward's offense really high flying there for just a little bit, but now it goes the other way. Under a minute and a half, still scoreless across the board. Such a small scoring series that if you can find this first, especially this late in the game, it can be killer.
Yeah, I mean, especially over on the side of Squidward's would be such a motivational on your side to know that you're going into this last minute with the lead. We do see that 1 minute remaining warning there as we speak. Gulp not going to be able to really get any sort of major attack or any sort of real threat on to the goal. Tide does enough to be able to send things aside. Brock raises up. I thought was going to go for the big clear. Didn't get enough, which now actually allows Squidward to keep this attack going.
So keep it going. The passing looking good. Diving forward. There it is across the goal line. Finally, every single player getting involved. They power their way home.
Takes teamwork to make a dream work. Even Reveal coming in as well, just doing enough to be able to bump 1. That way it makes it the 1v1. And Squidward's now going to be up by 1.
They are up 1, and like we said, such a huge goal to have. Was almost going to say we might be going to overtime after a Gulp kickoff goal, but still opportunities. Like we said, still a 1-0 scoreline for Gulp. You're going to have to find a very late goal here for Squidward. You got to play to the final second. Make sure that defense is holding strong. How about some passing? Brock looking for it this time. The centering pass, though, a little bit too slow. Geoids is wasting time. Hitting the post. Another doink hitting off the backboard up to the crossbar here. Now down to below 5 seconds. It's got to be revealed to keep this up and keep this down from Gulp. Keep it away, but a dangerous opportunity. Got to be waterfalled. Reveal should just be able to control this. A pass to Geoids will end that game.
And there it is. We are going to see Squidward's taking game number 4, which means we will be getting ourselves a game 5 here in the upper bracket final. And really seeing there that time around, look on that scoreboard. I mean, Squidward's doing a good job of dictating the pace. I do got to point out, though, Gulp, once again, their defense really turning up. It took 10 shots to find just 1 goal.
It did. It was a lot of shots for only one goal, but I gotta say, I'm slightly worried. I'm smelling another broom coming out, a different type of broom coming out here. It might be around the corner, but I'm a little bit worried for Gulp. Yes, there is. You can say Squidward's took so many shots to find that goal, but Gulp only had 5 shots, right? It was a little bit lower than maybe you would have wanted, would have maybe had some more. And you're talking about going into game 5, the momentum not in your favor. You've lost 2 games in a row now, and now you're going to a decider right here, right now.
And I think what's tough too is, I mean, the games have been so close, really testing the grit for both of these two teams. And I'm sure that there were points where Gulp thought that they had control in both games 3, and for at least enough where they thought that maybe they were going to avoid a game number 5 here. So Squidward's got to be feeling good, but they still can't let their foot up off the gas.
Neither team can let that go. They have to go full throttle right now because this final game, like we said, will decide who is moving on to that grand final with the game advantage. So many advantageous opportunities for that. But talking about advantages, it looks like Gulp have an advantageous set here in the offensive zone up towards the corner. Tide, no boost to work with. We'll have to meet in midfield.
Well, you can see they're very quickly going to flip the field, but Reveal had gone just a little bit too far into the corner. Allows for a very brief counterattack, but nice rotations coming in from Squidward. Allows them to regain control. Geoids loses it in the corner, but I do believe Aegis should kind of come in. Oh no, actually going to lose this here. They have numbers, and Tide going to put that in the back of the net.
That just finds a way here, like you said. Not only beats the first up into the air, but has Brock there as well. Brock, I might have got demoed or might have just paid for it with the bump, but huge stuff there, huge teamwork, and Gulp getting back to getting those goals.
They're also going to win this first kickoff, and no one's going to be in position if that gets sent onto target, and Tide says, you know what, let's double it up.
Double it up, like you said. After you go up there and aren't able to get the redirect, it is just a wide open goal. Unfortunate, but you know, look at the timer already. We're only a minute in. Gulp haven't really found the goals the past 2 games, but 2 already in this one.
Yeah, looking really good here, but there is plenty of time for Squidward to find some sort of answer. The problem, though, is the games have been relatively low scoring, so the fact that you've already found yourself 2 has got to have you feeling really good over on the side of Gulp. Kulfer going to be able to stop this thing at the mid-pitch. Brock going to raise up. I think was trying to look to pass that thing, but Kulfer had stopped dead in their track. Still going to get a good shot. Brock's going to try and follow it up off the rebound, but defense on the side of Squidward's.
At defense, but this worries me a little bit. We talked about for Squidward's that they were really successful when they had that high amount of shots, when they were able to just keep applying that pressure. It looks like right now Gulp has the pressure. They have the scoreline. They have everything they want. So if they can keep holding it like that for 3 more minutes, I mean, the series is over.
Yeah, and especially if they can do a good job of just keeping the ball over here on this Squidward's half of the pitch. I mean, you don't have to get good quality shots as long as you're not allowing this ball much farther than what Tide did there. I mean, there's really not much that the Squidwards can do, but... Oh, I thought they were going to flip the field. Good job by Tide. Tide's going to try and see if they can keep this thing in the zone for now. And I mean, just the speed right now that we're seeing from Gulp is just really impressive.
Yeah, they have gone into turbo mode. Pop that nitrous here as they continue to go off into the corner. We are under halfway in the final game, the game number 5 of this winner's final reveal. He's going to try and get this out of the corner, but once again, the pressure mounts again. Players waiting off in midfield. Going to be good to keep it in as well. Gulp looking to keep it in, but Reveal is going to try and take it in the air. It doesn't matter, though, because Brock has aerial control as well. Will get demoed, and that should be enough to get yourself a little bit of a clear, but for how long? Ooh, the shot just a little bit short.
Just a little short. Nobody else was pressed up as well, so this should allow... Oh, I was going to say for Gulp to get this thing out of their corner. Unfortunately, got stuck down there momentarily. That clear, though, going to relieve a little bit of that pressure. Now it's going to be up to Squidward to try and put together a set piece to enter back up into the zone. Once again, on the side of Gulp, though, they're meeting them with that resistant at the midfield line. Double bump from Brock. He just puts that thing up and then gets in front of his own ball and does it all on himself.
Yeah, Baraka with the
Jeez.
solo play. What a play there. The flick up, and then, like you said, knows there's only one defender left. So if you put them in their own goal, that's going to be an easy goal for you. Brock, 4 shots already. That one connecting for the 3rd goal for Gulp. Looking so good going to the final minute and a half.
And this has got to be quite deflating over on the side of Squidward's, man. You fought so hard to get back, and now Gulp has come out here. And not only have they held you to no goals, you have not recorded a single shot through the first 4 minutes. Now, they will record one here, and 1 shot is all it takes to be able to break the shutout.
Yeah, Reveal said, I got 4 saves. Let's finally get some offense going here. A nice little extra touch, threading the needle. Brock goes up, the ball goes down, and that one goes in. Squidward, they get 1, but again, that's only 1/3 of what they need, Q. They still need 2 more.
Yeah, I mean, you do have time. I mean, Rocket League, we've definitely seen plenty of crazier things happen, but it felt like you probably wanted to be able to enter into that Gulp zone relatively quick. I mean, the ball still is over here, but it feels like a goal's got to happen in these next 12 seconds or so for you to feel very, very comfortable. You're able to get the stop here, but you're not able to drive things into the back of the net. Instead, it's still left in the corner. And if they can get it clear, it feels like that should just about spell the end of this game.
Yeah, should be, but the pressure is going to continue to mount. 30 seconds remain. Some nice passing. Crossbar. Demo as well. They can't finish the play. The clear almost coming through. Aegis saving that one at the midcourt line. Now under 20. Geoids looking to save this best of 5. Trying to still pull the reverse sweep. It's going to be good offense, though. Extra time burn. Kofer wants a shot. Time is gone. 5 seconds are left. It looks like Gulp have done it here right at the end. It took them 3 games to find their 3rd win, but with 0s on the clock, the ball hits the ground, and Gulp will be moving on to the grand finals.
And good thing you put yourself in that position to have triple match point there. I'll tell you what, because they just about let that thing slip away. And if there's anything that I can probably imagine, is that's going to leave a little bit of a bitter taste in the back of Squidward's mouths here. And I'm sure they're going to be going down to that lower bracket, realizing that they are only 1 series away from getting another crack at this squad from Gulp.
It's true, right? You know, we talk about it. You make it this far in the winner's bracket. You still got your second chance. You still got your safety net, but you will have to play in an elimination match in a best of 3 in that lower bracket final. And that's going to be a tough one. And I also think for Squidwards, that was a rough game. I mean, 3 shots you talked about, didn't record a shot until that 4-minute marker in. So, you know, we talked about those previous games. They were having double digit. It seemed like every single game and still only finding 1 goal. So we'll see how they fare, you know, dropping out of that lower bracket. But for the other side, we get to see Gulp. They move on, they get to watch a little, and they get that game advantage.
And, you know, we had mentioned earlier that we thought we were going to be seeing Sup Bro, but it was Gulp who took them down. Sup Bro is going to be sitting in that lower bracket waiting for Squidwards. And, you know, I'm going to hit you with a quick hot take here, Llama. I think if I were Squidwards, I would have preferred to have gotten swept. That way I kind of had a real kind of chip on my shoulder, because here it felt like we got so far, and unfortunately it just did not matter because we're still in that lower bracket.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to not have that like bittersweet ending where you had a couple games, we're running it back, and then unfortunately the last game, not the way you want to go, but it's sometimes just how the tournament goes. And we also got to talk about it, I believe one of the highest registrations ever in a Frost tournament. So a lot of extra teams here. The competition is the highest possible. So, you know, the later and later you get, the matches are just going to keep on getting tougher.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we can continue to see sort of turn out like this, but we do have a posture check here. How you feeling over there, Llama? We've been live here for a few hours. You good?
Yeah, my posture's good. I'm sitting down, you're standing up. So it's a good combo. Posture, definitely feeling good though.
And you know what? I hope we continue to see big turnouts like this, because this has been an absolute blast. Reminder, in case you missed the announcement earlier, we do have new events and things like that coming up. So make sure you're checking out that Discord, keeping up with things over on the Twitter as well. And we'll be right back with that lower bracket finals right after this.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Frost Esports. Still here with our 95th edition of our Blizzard Rocket League tournament. Now, in case you are like Patrick Star and have been living under a rock, we got a bunch of new stuff here on the stream, but we're also down here in the lower bracket final for a best of 3 to decide who will go up to play in that grand final.
I see what you did there with the Patrick Star living under a rock. Not just that, but we got Squidwards here in the lower bracket final, and it is Supro, who we had mentioned earlier, ended up getting into this lower bracket a little sooner than I think most people would have imagined. And now, with this being the lower bracket here, they're going to try and look for some sort of resolve. Shocks going to be able to strike here first.
Yeah, Shocks shocking all the eggs in the crowd here, striking first, not even 30 seconds into this first game. And we didn't talk about this series is a little bit shortened, right? We get back to the best of 3, so we get back to that, you know, if you make those early mistakes, they're going to cost you even more.
Yeah, and I feel like the best of 3 are a really tough situation to be in if you're Squidward. Kind of talking about what we said before that break, kind of the way things broke down on how you got here into this lower bracket where you were almost, you know, right on the cusp of being able to pull off the reverse sweep, and then the wheels kind of fell off the wagon. So if Supro here can able to take this lead and double, maybe even triple it up, I'm going to be real concerned about the mental on the Squidward side of the pitch.
Yeah, a little bit concerned here. Heps will block out a nice shot, and Supro is one of those squads that has been here in Frost so many times, so many good players as well on the team. So we'll see what they can do here today, as it will be up for Squidwards now. Some offense going. Geoid's almost able to find something off the roof there. Some good passing, some good shots, but once again, not able to find the back of the net there.
Heps, Hurts, Shocks, saves, back to back to back. We're in the start of our game number 1, making sure the defense really showing that there is no weak link. That's going to get left off for our friend here, and man, that hurts, don't it? Sup, bro, going to be up by 2.
Sir, Supro find their second. Hurts will find the goal this time. Defenders in the area too. The shot's been on point, able to thread that needle right through the cloth there of the armor. So now 2-goal lead, 2 minutes in, still time, but you know, such a good lead to build for yourself, especially if Squidwards is coming into this game a little bit beaten and bruised.
I'll tell you what, it does look like Supro here seems to be on a mission. I think they realize that that shot at redemption, for the reason that they're down here in that lower bracket, lies in wait, but you still need to make sure that you can follow things up here. You still have a whole half in game number 1, but Shock sends that thing in. Reveal comes in with a big save, but Hertz does a good job of making sure to get a little bit of resistance in this corner, especially followed up by Hetz, who actually follows that up with a nice center. Ooh, I'm liking the team play.
Yeah, the offense is working so well, clicking on all cylinders. Shocks as well. The shots have been really good to just pinball, hit multiple players, do so much confusion to the back line that it can give them some access for those teammates to rotate on in. But right now, off into the corner, we'll see a nice little angle there coming in. Heps almost able to find that goal, but they've been keeping it in for so long. You can see the boost counters on the left side. Low-ish for Squidwards. Finally, they'll get a little bit of life here with a breath. They'll be able to send it down in and maybe a shot, but it's blocked perfectly.
Yeah, they were able to get a quick little look in the offensive zone, but Supbro making sure to really shut that thing down. Now actually flipping the field and looking to try and make an attack in their own right. Heps tries to meet a little bit of resistance, but getting shifty with it is Reveal. It's Geoids, the last one left, and able to dribble that thing all the way home.
Talk about a dribble. Starts from half court, takes it all the way home. That is exactly the feel-good shot that you need if you are Squidwards, and you get to cut that lead by just a little bit. I feel like that's honestly exactly what Squidwards needs, right? Creative plays from these players, nice solo plays, and, getting their first goal.
I think that's going to be a big moment for Squidwards there. The unfortunate thing is, since you allowed the 2 early goals, you're still in a deficit here, and you've got less than 90 seconds to be able to find an answer in this best of 3, or you will already have your back up against the wall once again. But Reveal doing a great job to send that thing very briefly into the back, or very quickly, I should say, into the back of the net, and we're all tied up.
All tied up. Reveal puts a sniper shot there right on target. That is going to tie us up like you just said. And, the time, no issue now. Minute 17 still on the clock. And now 2 unanswered goals from the Squidward side. So we'll see what Subro can do approaching this final minute. Their defense trying to get the pieces right back together. Shocks up and almost got a pass from their teammate there. Reveal full boost though. Will try and play the defense off this shot. No, Reveal. Oh no.
Now this is tough. Remember that we had just seen Squidwards. They were surmounting the comeback, and then the wheels fell off at the end. Now here in game number 1, you're able to come back and pull this thing to a draw, and it's off an own goal there. Granted, it was a play that maybe if you weren't there still was going to be a goal in its own right, but that doesn't feel good.
That one hurts, right after a goal of your own. Getting that own goal. I guess it's 2 goals, so maybe you can feel a little bit confident, but one of those going in the wrong net, and now you got only 40 seconds to try and find one more. Back up that offense and get Squidward's high-flying offense ready to go, because you only got half a minute.
And Geoids here, though, going to be able to intercept it. That's going to come off the backboard, but I really like the job by the defense here, making sure that it doesn't hang around the front of the goal for too long. Hertz is going to be able to pinch that, but Reveal does a good job not allowing this thing to go past the mid-pitch line. It feels like you've only got 1, maybe 2 more shots at this, depending on if you get 1 here and you at least get another go from the midfield line. But now with 3 seconds left, this needs to happen. Otherwise, it's Squidward's going to have their back against the wall. And Supbro takes game number 1.
Ow. I mean, what a shot there to finish it. They play till the final second, make sure right on their goal line they can stand. 4th down, they hold the line. Absolutely beautiful, and off of an own goal right at the end. It's got to feel good. Supro, very high, shot to goal ratio, I got to say.
Yeah, I mean, and their defense standing tall too. Look at how many saves they had. 8 saves over on their side. So not only is your offense is your ratio where you love to see it, but your defense showing that it's doing good on its side too. But I gotta tell you, that thing was tooth and nail through that last little bit. These players gotta be feeling it, because I'm tired after that game.
Yeah, I'm tired. Obviously, we talked about it. It's pretty late in the tournament as well, right? The fatigue definitely has to start to be affecting you here, and now you are possibly in your final game of the night. For Squidwards, it's a must win, right? You got to win this one to continue the series, and we get to see it right here. Like you always say, though, Q, the scores reset back to 0.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about Rocket League, right? Is it's reset back to 0, 5 minutes on the clock. And if you're Squidwards, you got to try and strike first, because you got to feel like you're sick and tired of trying to play from behind just for that comeback to fall a little short.
Don't want it to fall short here, but you got to show us this game. Subro with that late goal are leading the series 1-0. With it being a short series, one more game, they will get, like you said, that revenge tour matchup up in that grand finals. But we'll see how it does go against Squidwards with a large quantity of shots overall in the tournament and in that last game. And how about that shot from Reveal?
Really well done here to be able to just rise to the sky. One touch off the backboard. Hurts tries to get a nose onto it, unfortunately to no avail. And Squidwards, like we talked about, on the board first.
On the board first, like you said, well done. Like, no one likes their steaks. Whoever's eating that, go away from me. But nonetheless, I digress on our steak talk. Talk about the stakes of this game, still very high. That grand finals appearance, such a large thing. Squidwards with that early lead, they'll be able to play from the head. Reveal, though, got to be careful on the defense. Those passes on the goal line can make you pay. A nice redirect from Hurts, but just a little bit off that 50-50. The secondary touch from Heps off the ceiling. It's a slow roller, doesn't go in.
Yeah, and I'm starting to get a little nervous for Squidwards here, especially with that demo from Hurts, and you see another bump as well. Heps is going to rise to the sky, but Reveal does enough to send that thing up. Shox makes sure, though, it doesn't get past that 50-yard line. Pass over to Hurts. Hurts gets it past, too, but isn't able to get it past the third. But they're still in the offensive zone as Supro tries to see if they can break that streak and be able to find their first goal. But Geoids, beautiful play on defense.
Squidward's just a hair fast in Supro's offense. The counterattack now. Geodes misses the mid-air pass by just a little bit. Now rotates back towards that midfield. Heps, a nice shot. It's so fast. Fakes out the defender and connects.
Man, you talk about Hurts being able to very quickly pass this thing up to Heps. And I mean, just a self alley-oop, even with Reveal in your face, able to do what needed to be done. And as much as we talked about Squidwards needing to take the lead early, what we didn't talk about is the fact that they need to be able to maintain that lead, because it once again feels like every time you start to find a solution, things just seem to start to fall apart.
It's like a garden. You got to maintain it. You planted the nice watermelon, but you scored that first goal, but you forgot to water it, and now it's dying, and that scoreline is back to tied up here as we approach that halfway marker. Lots of time still on the clock for both teams here as Supro, they get back to their offense.
Heps, I thought, was looking to make a play. Good idea not to. Shox is going to at least keep this thing alive in the Squidwards zone, but Geoids flips the field, at least until they get intercepted by Hurts at midfield. 2 minutes left, and it feels like if this thing's tied up, I gotta lean towards Supro, but this ball goes in front of it, and it's going to be Squidwards back in the lead.
I mean, I was going to cry again for them if this didn't go in a couple of crossbars, but finally, the final bounce does them in. A nice little goal there from Squidwards. Let's come with a little bit near this halfway marker, and a little bit awkward at that. So Supro with their pretty dominant offense, still some time left on the clock to try and bounce back, try and cut back down that lead. But Squidwards, can you hold it once again?
Oh, nice pass to Shox, but we do see again the defense standing really tall here from Squidwards. Unfortunately, I was gonna say didn't get the release, but it is actually now going the opposite way. Forces Heps to have to get the save, and Geoids comes from the corner here. That would have been beautiful.
That would have been nice, but Oh, almost a secondary touch there from Aegis. Gonna try and keep it in here, steal some of that boost as well. Nice from the air as well, pestering these shots on one after another, but do they pay for it here? A little bit too fast on the secondary touch in the backboard. The third teammate won't be able to find it as well. Off of the corner, Geoids should be able to get a nice little wheel on this one, but contested at that 50-50 marker, approaching 1 minute left. A nice little skying pass, 1, 2, 3. They can't find it.
Yeah, but they're still in the zone. They're still in the rotations. It is Reveal, though, that gets this ball at the midfield line, trying to go the opposite way. Intercepted by Shocks, but Aegis going to be able to win their contest here, at least very briefly, making sure that this ball doesn't get quickly flipped into the other direction of your pitch. And for Subpro, they need to find an answer. I mean, the good news for them, they won game number 1, but it's starting to feel like Squidward's starting to really find their stride.
Yeah, but there is still some time, like you said, 30 seconds left on the board. Subpro still with the game advantage of the series, but they would love to take the second one right here. It's going to bounce back off to midfield here. 20 seconds left to go as that timer will continually tick on down. Another goal here from Squidwards could be the end of it. A nice little contest there from Geoids. Gets the bump as well. Now to single digits. This is where you prove yourself. Subpro, can you get it out cleanly? Can you keep it up? It's going to be bounced around off of the post. They're just going to let it roll. Squidwards, they'll bounce back and take game number 2.
And there it was. It almost looked like Squidward was going to give themselves a third there at the end just to kind of add things up. But man, when we get to see this scoreboard come up, you'll see that both teams, their offense is really in tune. We're talking about 7 shots on one side, 9 on the other. That little bit of an advantage working out in Squidward's advantage. So, numbers, the way the math be math, and you should probably be finding the back of the net a little bit more. But for Subpro, it felt like they kind of started to let that game slip away from them, not just by the score, but even just the pace of the game.
It did a little bit, I would have to say. I mean, this has been Squidward's MO, though, throughout the entirety of the tournament, is shoot a lot and, we score some. It is what it is. But I think going into game number 3, that should be Subpro's plan. We saw it in game 5 of the last one, where if you can slow down Squidward's even a little bit, if you can stop some of those shots, stop that quantity, like you said, you shoot 10 shots, eventually one of those is going to go in, right? Surely one of them has to. So if you can stop some of them, there's a definite possibility that you can win this game number 3.
And game number 3 is where it all comes down to here. Remember, this is a best of 3 here in this lower bracket final. Who's going to be able to get on the board first? That's the real question here, Llama.
That is the question. It has been relatively low scoring, right? So you get one of these early goals, you can build a lead off for yourself. But importantly, again, 5 minutes on the clock. It will be the last game of the tournament for one of these two teams. The other of the two will move up to that grand finals. Let's see which can do it.
I like the play by Shocks there to kind of get control on their side here for Subpro. They aren't allowing anything too easy, but of course, as I say that, big booming clear, and you actually see getting followed up in the corner. They're trying to stuff that thing down there, trying to see if they can cause a little bit of hecticness on the Subpro side. But if there's anything that we know about this team, they do a good job of keeping cool, calm, and collect, even when it doesn't feel like they're in control. Geoidzo tries to pass it up to Reveal, to no avail. Aegis also going to lose their contest. I love to see the back and forth in this very crucial game number 3.
Both these teams playing aggressive. Geoids, though, getting a nice little front car touch bounce off there. But we'll go back to their defensive side. Got to be careful as it's ping-ponging back and forth. Both teams just trying to grasp onto some control here after that first minute has passed. Oh, what a good shot there. The teammates in the area, they're not going to stop those Subpro. Not done just yet. Finally, this time they'll have to back up the rotations there. The offensive Squidwards, they get to set up, but look at this clear. The opportunity is there. Reveal gets there quicker, though.
Yeah, Reveal doing a good job of adding a little bit of additional pressure, making sure that you don't get control in the corner. However, you haven't been able to get the clear. It comes off the hood of Shocks to kind of put that thing a little higher, but you do see Squidwards now going to send this thing down into the opposite corner. And Aegis here actually going to be able to field this thing off the wall. Can he get it past one? Past Heps, but not going to be able to get it past the second.
Some back and forth still. There's some demos being pulled from Squidwards as well. Love to see that violence starting in this third game. Make sure you can take out that third player. But right now, Shocks Gonna try and go a little aggressive. No real boost to work with. We'll pick up some a little bit later, but Hurts and Co. got to make sure the rotation's on point. Shock's a nice little touch to get a clear on down. Reveal has to go up to save it, and Heps has enough of a blocker, but no teammate that wins the contest.
Yeah, I mean, really kind of we're seeing on the side of Squidwards, even though they might be able to quickly get into this offensive zone down on this half of the pitch, once it gets down here, it's really tough for them to get any sort of offense going actually towards the net. Supro doing a really good job of kind of cycling the kind of hits out to the corner, which at this point has held them to 0 shots recorded.
I mean, holding them to that is the #1 thing on the checklist. Like we said, if you can shut down their quantity, you're going to make them so much less effective here. But how about effectiveness towards the net? Just a slow bounce to there. The third is not going to do it. What a save there. Supro goes massive.
My goodness, you can just hear the Sports Center in the back. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. That was just on the goal line. It took everything to be able to keep that thing from actually crossing the line. But you can see Squidward's not going to let up off of the attack. Still playing very fast here. The question is, have you maybe allowed a little bit of a leak off the opposite side, trying to come in with the counter attack? But now they might actually come in with a counter of their own. Reveal with a big demo.
Counters on top of counters on top of counters here. Everybody going back and forth here, as still no goals recorded. But I might have spoke just too soon, because Shocks, along with the demo, will find the first.
Yeah, and the demo definitely hurts, don't it? Reveal going to get demoed there as they were trying to make a play for the save. And now with 73 seconds, we are going to potentially see Squidwards once again able to push it to the distance, but potentially falling short.
Definitely don't want to fall short when you are right there, like we talked about, that finish line right in front of you. But 60 seconds, the finish line for this series, rapidly approaching as well. It's got to be Squidwards. They need to find their offense here. It's going to be Subro, though, trying to just drain down the time, trying to play it slow. What a nice shot as well there. Beautiful stuff to just keep this going. Off in the corner as well. Lovely to see Shocks, everybody getting involved.
And now with 30 seconds, you were hoping to try and flip the field, but Heps does a good job of meeting with that resistance at the midfield line. But even with that, Geoid's able to go up. He's bigger, he's better, he's just stronger, and we're all tied up.
I mean, we got to call 911 for some of the Subro players. I really think so, man. That one hurts. Broke some ankles in the sky. Squidward's exactly the injection of a goal they needed. 20 seconds left to play here. Still on the ropes for this game. 1-1, all tied up here. We could be looking at overtime, or if somebody could score in these final 10 seconds, they could end it.
Yeah, but we are going to see as the last 5 seconds count down, it's Supros going the opposite way. Hurts, unfortunately, not able to rise to the skies and get to where they needed to really get an attack. But Asia's going to get a goal right here with the last closing seconds, and it's Squidwards out on top.
Yoids does it again. The aerial dribbles. Oh, man, that is a highlight reel if I have ever seen one. Squidwards, I mean, they came back from nothing there. 30 seconds left.
Able to double it up with a huge comeback. And just when it looked like we were going to be seeing a repeat of that similar story, it is actually going to be Squidwards who now get a chance at redemption, and this time have momentum on their side coming into that grand final.
Yeah, they got momentum. They got Geoids. I mean, who else do you need? Like, crazy plays. I mean, I know I'm kind of harping on it for a second, but literally gave them the game. In the final 30 seconds, Geoids, 2 aerial plays, 2 shots, one of them being a pass. Okay, I'll give them that. The assist, but still 2 amazing goals right there at the end.
I mean, you know what? Sometimes you just need your big players to come up big in those key moments, whether it's a shot or whether it's a pass. The big thing is the same result in the end, and that lets you see kind of how we got here. One, Supro almost looked like they were going to pull off a nice lower bracket run, but it is going to be Squidward who is going to be going right back up into that grand final to play against Gulp. It's going to be a best of 7, but of course, since Gulp is already the ones that advanced from that upper bracket, they do get that game advantage.
Yeah, good to have that game advantage. Like you also mentioned, we do got to congratulate Supper. They still take home a third place finish. And like we said, it was a very packed field of teams here
Yeah.
today in Blizzard number 95. But yeah, looking towards that grand final, Gulp coming in with the game advantage. The last series went to 5, and most of them are close. So I really think it could go either way.
Yeah, I definitely feel like this could go 7, but we do got to realize that with this being so close, that game advantage really does feel like a significant advantage, doesn't it?
Does. It really does. And I think as well, we've talked about fatigue a little bit, but it's kind of the two schools of thought, right? Squidward is going to be coming in hyped up off a win or whatever, but Gulp, they might have been sitting for a little bit, but they've had time to relax a little bit. I mean, it's been a pretty long tournament for all these players. They've been playing their hearts out, and they got a little bit of time to rest. That could be the difference maker.
Yeah, I think you'll at least have some confidence in the fact that this is a team that you've beat before. But yeah, definitely hope that maybe they've been doing just enough to make sure that the thumbs are still warm and ready to roll into this grand final. But you know what? We got to give our crew a second to get this lobby set up, get these teams in here, and we'll be back with this grand final for our 95th event over here for Frost Esports right after this.
Hey, what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? I have an open invitation, but you're telling me go get lost. I don't wanna see your face. Yeah, what the hell? So why don't we stay out till the morning light? Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. Some Chardonnay, we camp in the parking lot. Leave traces of plastic cups. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Frosty Sports. Still here with the 95th edition of our Blizzard Q. We're still approaching that 100 one, but we got to talk about today a little bit more. One final series on the night. It's a best of 7, and it's where we get to crown our champion.
Yeah, it all comes down to this, and we're going to be running it back from what we saw in that upper bracket final where we saw Squidward and Gulp go the distance. But this one is going to be a best of 7 instead of a best of 5. Now, there is no bracket reset advantage. The advantage that Gulp gets is the fact that they already start up 1-0. So let's go ahead and get down and do what it do and see who's going to be able to come out on top in our Blizzard number 95.
Let's get to see it. Like you said, Gulp, they will start with that game advantage, but could be coming in just a little bit cold, so we'll see how that does affect them. We know it affects teams definitely differently, so we'll see how it does. Important each one of these games is going to be, because we talked about how close the previous series have been. Some close shots already from Squidward's.
Ooh, I think Kofor was trying to get just enough of that to be able to send that thing directly on to goal. Instead, it sinks into the corner. Brock doing a good job of fighting down here to be able to make sure that it takes more work. And it's actually Kofor that comes up and says, nah, let's just go ahead and put that first one onto the scoreboard.
Yeah, this is just what I love about Gulp. They trust each other so much. Brock, knowing that bounce is going to result in a perfect pass, you communicate that, get that player to step up and make that shot. Beautiful. Gulp will take that first goal here in that first minute as well, in such what was a low-scoring series. Nice to have. So you see how Squidwards can try and react to that one. Reveal gonna try and react to some passing plays. A 2v1 there, but Tide able to get a nice touch on that.
Yeah, and Brock's actually going to be able to get a second touch in the air. Leaves that pass off to Tide. And Gulp going to double up their lead with just a minute expired on the clock.
And it's the passing plays once again. Brock, a nice pass there to slip it by to the defender in the air, making sure there is no play able to be made. And then the easy finish there. Gulp now with a 2-0 lead, a minute into this one. Gotta be feeling good. Q, it doesn't look like they have any frost on them at all. They are heated up and ready to go.
No, they are definitely nice and warm here. Although I do gotta say, even though they are warm, they are playing as though they have ice in their veins. And it's going to take some sort of turnaround here from Squidward's. And I feel with the way that the last series ended, I feel like it's going to be a game where they really need to run it up. Because I feel like if they win a game just by a simple goal difference, it's going to make them wonder if they are still going to kind of fall short the way they did in game number 5. I think they need to come out and just really take the top off the defense.
They got to make it clear and concise, right? You got to make sure Squidward does not have really any chance to kind of bounce back and say, yeah, we only lost by 1. We're right there in it. If you can start the, series 2-0 up with maybe a shutout or maybe with just a high-scoring affair in your favor, that has got to feel good. We talk about Rocket League very momentum-based. Right now, the momentum, though, shifting towards Tide as they pick up that pass. Nice reception, though, up in midfield as it is Squidward's squad battling for some pressure here in their offensive zone. Kofor, though, leaves up a dangerous pass there. The floater goes wide, though.
Yeah, it does just enough there to unfortunately send it a little bit wide. And we are seeing, at least on the side of Gulp for now, doing a pretty good job. They are able to fight back, get some of the boost, make sure they're not getting starved completely here. But once again, defense going to be met with some resistance exiting that defensive zone. And Squidward's maybe starting to turn the tide just a little bit.
Turning the tides, but Kofor has their eyes on the net here. Lays up a nice pass, but it is going to be tried to try and follow it up. Tide, no boost right now. We'll pick up some of those small chunks and finally the big chunk to replenish themselves. Brock to midfield. Tide the pass with a boost pickup. Will find the second for themselves and third for the team.
Yeah, speaking of Tide, maybe actually the Tide really starting to build over on that Gulp side of the pitch here. 3 assists also worth noting on the side of Brock. He might not have a goal, but he's assisted on every one of them things. And now Tide gonna get the hat trick.
Yeah, Tide not gonna let Brock assist off this one, but still a beautiful play there. 2 cheat forward, 1 cheats for the boost. That's an easy slam home. Actually, Brock did get the assist on that? Wait.
Yeah, I think he was the player that had got the second hit off the the kickoff there. So still, yeah, 4 goals, 4 assists on that side, including assisting every one of those for the hat trick on the side of Tide. And this is big here because now on the side of Squidward, you're no longer thinking about winning, I don't think here. Now you're just trying to get yourself a consolation goal or 2. And if Gulp can continue to really dominate and dictate this pace, all of a sudden Squidward is 1 game away from that back being right back up against the wall.
Yeah, they're so close to being there, and like you said, for Squidward, really the time not in your favor. They would need a miracle to get that. They just need to, send this goose egg to the magician cooks in the kitchen in the back to try and change it to at least a breadstick. But it's just Gulp consistently putting this offensive pressure down. Geoids has made plays before in that last series. Some shots are good here. A secondary touch. Brock, though, nice and clean.
Yeah, Brock just an absolute monster there to be able to come up with the save and was able to send things deep enough, which alleviates that pressure, allows everyone else to get back into the rotation, get back into their boost, and now they're actually in the offensive zone, looking to try and play keep away as there's only 40 seconds here for Squidward to try and start to find some sort of resolve. We see that Squidward is at least very briefly entering the offensive zone, but going the other way here now, and I think we just might see a shutout in game number 2.
Definitely possible. Under 30 seconds to go. Gulp, they're just applying the pressure. They are just playing it like they have been playing it. Nice demo as well. Means you're not pulling it out of the zone to bounce off the backboard there. It's going to be Tide keeping it in, keeping the boost going, trying to dip through the back lines here. Kofor trying to get the rotate. The ping pong passes are good from Squidwards, but can't find the back of the net. 0's on the clock. It'll be bouncing around for maybe a couple more shots. Finally, Brock has control. Will bump the player out of the air and Gulp a 4-0 shutout win in what is technically the second game of the series.
Yeah, it is the first time that these 2 teams are playing in that grand final, but with that game advantage, now it's 2-0. And I mean, talk about quite the whooping, really, from Gulp there. I mean, yeah, you got a couple of shots off from Squidwards, but it never felt like anything really too heavy of a contest in that offensive zone. You need to come out here in game number 3, and you need to find some answers quickly.
You're going to have to. I mean, like you said, you give over the next game, suddenly you got to try and get out your reverse sweep broom, and that is a tough ask for any team. I mean, putting them in that position to get 4 games straight, and we know it's such high competition here that it's going to be tough no matter what. But for Gulp, again, it's just the teamwork. Like we talked about, Brock, 4 assists on every single goal, even the kickoff one, and the teamwork just clicking all the way around, the passing on point.
Yeah, and efficiency, right? 8 shots with 4 of them being able to connect, which is absolutely huge. And you also were able to have the shutout on the opposite side of the pitch here as well. So game number 3, I don't know what the answer is for Squidwards, but you need to find something because we saw them almost pull off the reverse sweep in the best of 5. It's so hard in a best of 7.
It's tough. The statistics definitely not in your favor, but right now the statistics looking in the favor of Gulp. We'll see what they can do going here into game number 3. If they can continue this, dominance, if they can continue the shutout, if they can continue to keep these passing plays active. Kofor, you can see it pulling members with each and every shot off into the corner for this one. Brock looking to set up for the teammate. It's just a ride in from Tide. Brock won't be able to find the secondary pass.
Yeah, but they're doing a really good job here on the side of Gulp to really put on the pressure and make sure that they're not even able to get a free pass into that offensive zone. Even when they were down 2 versus 3 off of the demo, were able to do a good job of still making sure they had to work for every single inch. Now here at this point, Reveal's going to get the pinch to try and push things across the goal line, put it in front of the goal, but didn't have enough oomph on it. Reveal tries to win their 50, but to no resolve. And we've got a minute by here, and I feel like Gulp is maybe not quite in the same control, which might allow Squidwards to kind of get into their momentum here.
On the same control, a nice shot there. Tide coming down from the heavens to make that save there. Very godly of them, but now it's going to be a nice clearing passes from Gulp. He just, though, has some other ideas. Backs it up right into the ball. A nice shot right on down. Good save. Even better, the Gulp defense really locking that chain mail together to create a nice barrier at that goal line, but now on the other way. Will be up towards the net. Maybe a floater, but should be able to be controlled by Squidwards.
And Age is actually trying to go the opposite way. Good job by Kofor to be able to send that thing here to the corner as we're now about 2 minutes into this game, still all knotted up at 0. Remember, game number 3, if we happen to see Gulp take this one home, all of a sudden Squidwards has their back up against the wall, trying to go into the offensive zone. Shot on target, but Tide gonna knock it to the side.
So many close shots, I gotta say, though, on either side for this game. Another final man save there. Geoids trying to maybe make one of those spectacular aerial plays we've seen before. A Gulp to know about it. Approaching the halfway marker. Definitely a lot closer scoreline this time. 0-0, what holding us up for the moment. Brock, though, up in the air, trying to hold the team up, trying to get those good assists that they had in that last game.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're watching volleyball with the set. I mean, you saw going back and really kind of giving it that nice little touch to kind of try and line up the teammates here, but unfortunately wasn't able to find a connection. 2 minutes left here as Reveal sends that on target, and that's going to be Squidwards on the board first.
This is actually just kind of awkward. Aegis is in the area, gets the kind of bump up, and then Reveal just beats him. I feel like for Gulp, maybe you were communicating that one of your teammates there was going to be able to get it, but a nice goal nonetheless for Squidwards. They take the lead.
Yeah, really good lead there for Squidwards, and now at this point, you got to make sure you can hold on to it, because if there's one thing that we know about Gulp is that it doesn't take long for them to be able to put a point onto the board. They are going to get met with some resistance and actually get knocked back into their side. Tide, a little bit of a fumble, going to try and come in with the clear. This could be trouble as Reveal sends in a shot, knocked aside. Now the question is, can you keep the drive alive?
Squidward setting that trap, Venus flytrap there, but could not snatch all the way down to get that goal. Now a minute 30 left to go, still holding on to that lead. The difference between this one and game 1 is it is only a 1-goal lead right now. So for Gulp, you still got time. There are still opportunities for you to try and match this game and maybe get yourself that 3rd game, but you got to work for it right now in the air. How about some work there? Will be over 2 players, but no follow-up there in the air.
And Reveal, I was trying to very quickly at least send things up into the Gulp side, realizing that this time all you got to do is continue to waste time. Nice play by Reveal. Does get knocked to the side, though. They don't lose control. This is good news, because Squidwards now in this chance where they get to be the ones to play keep away. But if Brock does that, they might now actually have numbers, and that's going to be the equalizer with 50 seconds left on the clock.
Brock assisted all last game. Brock said this time, I see a 1v1. I'm gonna take it. Taking the perfect shot as well. Will, like you said, equalize out this scoreline. Back to 1-1. Why not keep it close for the grand finals?
Yeah, I mean, might as well, but the problem now becomes if you're Squidward, you're feeling that pressure once again, but a wide open net, and you are going to be able to get the second touch here, and you retake that lead.
Yeah, good read here from Aegis. Just sees only one defender back and get the pump off your car. You get the first touch. I'll get the second. Thank you very much. And really good response. Like you said, it would have been dangerous for Squidwards to walk into that final 30 seconds with a tied up scoreline. So to take that extra goal has got to feel really good. Gulp, though, they're going to be pushing forward. A shot.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see Tide make something happen there, but the defense from Squidward is going to stand tall. Still 24 seconds left. We could see something happen here, but it would take something sort of short of a miracle because they do still have the ball still on that Gulp side. But of course, as I say that, it is going to be revealed very quickly, knocking the ball back over into that orange half of the territory. And I think we are going to see a third goal, actually, which means Squidward's should be walking away here with game number 3.
Yeah, they take this game definitely, but this is just unfortunate. Yeah, mistouch there in the air. Nice shot, nonetheless, bounces in. Squidwards, they take another late goal, and I gotta say, 2 quick response goals feels really good, right? After your confidence was a little bit shattered with that Gulp goal, got to feel good on that one. Squidward's going to be taking this 3rd game, and, you know, they're not given that freebie right to the series point early in the series.
And I think that's going to be very big for Squidward because we know that they were able to win a couple in a row. So the fact that you just get one off the board here, which means even if Gulp happens to pick this next one, you've been in this series situation before where it was triple match point and you almost were able to steal it. So I think getting this one is big. I think also what's really big is this time the offense looked a lot better, able to get 8 shots, a couple more than Gulp there, and also your defense able to come up with 6 saves. So I think both sides of the ball starting to look a lot better.
Yeah, looking a lot better, but I can also say I can kind of feel that, you know, the tension already on these players' shoulders that we talk about. They've been playing for a long time for Gulp. They were making a couple of those slight mistakes where, yeah, it's okay, you missed the ball in the air, but that can lead to a goal. That can lead to them start to stacking up for Squidward. It's the first game of their series. Again, they'll match that kind of game advantage, so it still will be a game advantage in Gulp's favor off of the game they won, but going to this next game, it could be all back to equal.
And that would be big because it means technically you're up in games played, right? Because they did start with that game advantage. So that's the start of being able to turn the tide when it comes to that big momentum word that you and I always like to talk about when it comes to Rocket League. But we're getting ready to get started here with our next game, and it feels like this could really be where the momentum really starts to make a turn around the corner if Squidwards can come out here and really deliver.
Yeah, I'd also like to say Gulp, not that many goals that game. We talked about in that first game that they actually played. It was 4-0. So really the offense, the passing, couldn't really find it. Just that Brock solo goal in that last one. So we'll see what they can do going into this one. No goals in the first 30 seconds. No real shenanigans. Might have spoke too soon. Some nice passing going through off the backboard. Gulp trying to play fast.
Yeah, Kofor actually comes in with a demo, which buys them a little bit of space to continue with this attack into the zone. Kofor should be back up in here soon, though, which means now you got everything set back to 3s. But, oh, and actually another demo coming in. But this time, Aegis going to be able to knock this thing to the side. Should be able to get the... No, not able to get the clear. And where it was Gulp that had some of the mistakes early in the last game, maybe Squidward's starting to play a little sloppy.
Stumbling just a little bit. The good news for them, at least, no goals scored. Maybe until Tide has anything to say about it. Will be a nice little contest. Geoids has made the aerial plays before. Not this time. Gulp knows their MO and will shut it down. Good shots. The follow up. Gopher.
I really like this play here, too. You send that thing to the bottom corner, so even if it just gets doinked like that, you have Kofor that's following behind and able to get that rebound. And for Gulp, that's big. You realize that really puts the ball in Squidward's court because now they're feeling more of that pressure. Now they have to just find an answer to be able to get back tied.
And they need to find an answer, and the better part is Gulp, once again, like you said, those teamwork plays, just sending it to such a hard spot, a 2v1, and this one is a 2v none. Kofor finds an empty net for themselves.
This is really well done here by Brock, passes it off to Kofor with just the alley-oop to themselves. I mean, unfortunately, on the side of Squidward's, 0 resistance.
And it's like we talked about, Gulp getting back to the form they want to. That Brock has been the person to set up some passes. Squidward's almost coming flying out there off the kickoff. But if Brock can set up those perfect passes, if Gulp, if the players are looking good, they can really smash this, what is the 4th technical game that we are playing with that game advantage. Brock up to that backboard. We'll try and clear it out for now. Not much boost. Gives it right to the opposing team and maybe a secondary pass.
Oh, but unfortunately, everybody else on the side of Squidward was already rotated back. That would have been such an easy opportunity to cut this deficit in half. And now the ball is actually going to be going to the opposite side of the pitch. Brock's going to get a touch here, leaves it off for Tide, and this offensive drive is still alive. Kofer's in the corner, is going to get met with a little bit of resistance, but everyone else rotated back. Gulp still plenty in control.
Plenty in control, and I love what they're doing as well in the defensive end, where they're marking geoids. They're saying, we're not giving you all that space up in the air. We know you can make those solo plays, and we're cutting down those passes before they get towards their target.
Oh.
That is such a big thing. How about a 2v1 with a demo on their side? Gonna be Tide looking forward in the corner. Won't find too much, but we'll see if they can keep it in.
And it's now a 3rd demo on this drive here from Gulp. Unfortunately, though, it does look like that all is going to be for naught. Brock is going to send a shot just a tad bit tall. And Aegis actually does a great job with a big booming clear going the opposite way. And Geoids might have a shot here, but unfortunately, just a tad bit wide.
Yeah, a little bit dangerous. Maybe don't pass back to your backboard and give it for free to the enemy team. But nonetheless, doesn't go in. So the scoreboard's still looking like a goose egg for Squidwards. And still 2-goal lead for Gulp, approaching that minute 30 marker as time continues to dwindle down, as it always does. Geoids unable to get a great redirect once again towards the backboard, maybe giving Gulp a chance. Nice block from Reveal, excuse me.
Yeah, did a really good job there, but now can you come up with the clear, because you need to be able to take this ball and push it to the opposite side of the field. You've only got 70 seconds, and you've got to get 2 of them things. Kofer doing a good job to be able to lob this thing deep. Brock going to try and throw that car there to just cause a little bit of disruption. Kofer gets him with a little bit of resistance at that midfield as well. Really making sure they work for it. Big save. I don't think that was off of a Gulp player. I think a Squidward player actually saved it themselves.
Yeah, and that's heartbreaking. That really, really stinks, but unfortunately can't think about it. Got to keep on going forward. 45 seconds. Another fast shot. Another faster block from Gulp. We'll see if they can clear it out, alleviate some of this pressure that they are facing right now. But up in the air, a nice floater shot. Maybe looking for a backboard double touch, but it goes the other way now. 30 seconds remaining. Gulp just full control right now.
And man, if you're Squidward, you needed something to happen about 20 seconds ago. Now at this point, the math just is not adding up for me unless you manage to get some sort of long bomb here. But everyone's rotated back, and they should be able to, stuff them at the net as these final 5 seconds count down. It will be Squidwards who will be at the point of only having 1 game left, as Gulp going to be on championship point.
Yeah, Gulp will be on 3. And how about their wins, I gotta say? Both their wins now being shutouts. This one being a little bit closer of a game, but I gotta say, they got back to the teamwork. It's so hard to stop when they can have those good passes, when Brock can sacrifice their whole car, can just say, I'm putting this up for everybody, I'm taking a couple players with me, and I trust my teammates enough to put in the back of the net.
And one thing I noticed too, it felt like, at least in that last game, maybe not so much the first game that we saw Gulp win in the grand final here, but that last time playing super aggressive, catching a lot of demos, which you got to realize for Squidwards, especially now at this point where you need a win in these next 3 games. If it's just not about trying to find the openings on offense, but also having to keep your head on the swivel to avoid getting demolished, the game plan completely shifts.
Yeah, it does. And it's tough now because Squidward's now, like you said, you're facing not a reverse sweep, but almost, right?
Right.
A little bit short of one. You still got to win 3 games in a row. It's possible, but it's just hard. Like, how do you solve the problems that are there? It's not really problems. It's just you're playing the other best team in the tournament, right? This team has worked so hard to get here, and they are going to work even harder in this next game. It is game number 5. Gulp could end it right here.
And man, you got to see if you can get a quick response just like that from Reveal. And that is how you need to come out here if you're Squidwards.
Reveal not giving up in this series, and Geoids reveal 5 seconds in will find their first. We'll see if they can, kickoffs. Maybe that's something they can improve on, because it seemed like to me they were getting control off of kickoffs, so maybe that can be a power point to get some goals.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to try and make something happen here, but the good news, I thought Gulp was about to be able to find a very quick response there, which would have felt like a little bit of a blunder over on the side of Squidward. However, they aren't going to allow an easy change of the pitch. As I say that, though, Reveal goes the opposite way off the back of a big demo from Geoids.
That's the Reveal Geoids combo. Reveal the fake out of the sky, the drop down, and then Geoids knows you got a 2v1. If there's no defender there, it's a 2v none. So nice and easy. 30 seconds in queue, 2 goals.
Yeah, I mean, things definitely going to be looking good here. Brock going to rise to the sky, though, try and see if they can put some pressure on the opposite side of the field. Follow it up by Tide, and that's going to cut this deficit in half.
You just like scoring goals. They like scoring fast here, but this is a really good team play. All 3 players get involved. Brock to Gopher to Tide. The teamwork play finds the back of the net.
Here we go. Now the question becomes over on that Gulp side. Can use that little bit of an opening to try and double it up. Kofer rises to the side, gets fancy with it. It's only going to be an A for effort, not so much for the results. Now going to be trying to get up out of the zone. Brock says not today, and now actually sends his own shot in his own right.
A nice shot there was good. The clear, though, is even better. It's going to be Geoids once again here. The combo is good. It's revealed this time, though, on the assist.
That's one of those situations where you go for the clear, but when you hit it and then you just see it going towards the net, all you can do is sit there with a big old grin on your face. And once it crosses the goal line, good for you for Squidward, because now you're up by 2.
Talk about crossing things. It feels like we've crossed the Twilight Zone. I don't know. There's way too many goals in the first minute between these two for me to even comprehend. But nonetheless, Squidwards, you got to be happy about it. They're playing a little bit faster pace. They're not playing adaptive. They are making sure that they're not playing reactive. Rather, they're playing adaptive. So already with that goal lead, we'll see if they can hold on to it, because again, there's still a lot of time left because those goals did come early. So Gulp's still their chance to play.
Yeah, I am a little concerned, and let me tell you why here, Llama, because right now Gulp's down by 2, right? And with being a deficit of 2, they're going to have to speed up this pace a little bit. And if there's anything that we've seen from Squidwards versus Gulp in the first 2 times that we've seen them run it back, is it feels like when Gulp maintains the control and really speeds things up past that level where Squidwards is comfortable, things start to fall apart.
That's the hope, is they can get those one after another shots, speed it up, get them off balance there. A 3v1, good defense from Squidward there as they hold on, allow those rotations to come on through. Tied, though. Oh, a 2v1 right the net. Reveal gets a good backboard redirect to make sure that one isn't going right to another goal player. But Brock, maybe one more opportunity. A short floater there off the backboard. Good reads from Squidward in this last series.
Yeah, their defense really stepping it up here in that last pace. Now going to try and flip the field, but it's only a brief visit into the zone, and now going the other way. Tide going to try and rise. This guy puts it over one. That should be a good shot, but not to any avail. And then Brock tries to follow it up, and that goes too tall. And that might be the type of break that we needed to see on the Squidward side of the ball in order to force a game number 6.
Just stinks. Some off-target shots there. Could have cut the lead down by a little bit more, but nonetheless, you play on. Still 2 minutes to try and find 2 goals, maybe. Make it 3, because Reveal has found the back of the net again.
And that's big here. That's going to be the hat trick in Reveal, really stepping it up here in game number 5. 3 goals on 3 shots, but not just that. Over on the other side of the field, we do see that he has came up with 3 saves.
Yeah, come up with 3 saves. It also looks like, I don't know what happened to the goal players, but can't save them there. They did say go next, so maybe feeling a little bit too far down in this, in one of the games here. So we should be getting a new lobby set up. Obviously, Gulp not going to get credited with a win that game, down 4-1. But for Squidwards, coming out flying, gotta feel good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for that to come, I mean, to even force that thought of like, nah, you know what? Let's just run it back. It's one of those situations where you feel like you've really put a damper on the mental on the other side. When you're coming from a deficit here where you need to, again, not quite pull off the reverse sweep, but win 3 in a row, that's a good start to it there.
That's a good start. I believe also we were hearing that there were some gnats in the cars, so they got some bugs, distracting the drivers. So we'll get those cleared out, get a quick cleaning for each of the cars as we get ready. But yeah, on a more serious note, like you said, that's a really good start for Squidward. They have got to feel good after this one, but it has been a little bit back and forth. If you remember, if we take away the game advantage, it's been 1-1, 1-1. So if that trend continues, we might be over the next one.
Yeah, I mean, that's for sure, but it felt like this last game, it really did feel like we saw Squidwards. I feel like in the most control that we've seen them over the course of what's now, what, 9 games played? So it feels like the tide might be turning. It needs to make sure. I feel like they need to do like we saw similarly in this last game, where they need to come in and run it up. Just coming up 1-0 isn't going to cut it.
Yeah, you need to make sure that you put bugs in their car. That's the secret. Make sure to no,
Mm.
just kidding. But yeah, you do really have to run up the score. You got to build that confidence back in yourself because again, they got 3 really good shooters. They got really good teamwork that if they start to lock it back in, they're still 1 game away from taking the entire tournament.
And at this point, when you've played yourself to this late in the tournament, a little bit of a deficit isn't too much because you didn't come this far just to come this far if you're over on the side of Squidward, especially if you can look at it with that positive, like you talked about, where, hey, you know what? We have been able to pretty well keep this thing neck and neck if you take away that game advantage. If we can just essentially double it up at one point, win these 2 in a row, all of a sudden it's game 7. Pass doesn't matter.
And we've talked about a little bit before momentum, that big word in everybody's mind. If you win, we talk the statistics very bad when you pull off the reverse sweep, but maybe coming in only needing to win 3 games, then you start to win 1, then you win 2, then the momentum is definitely in your favor going into game number 7, but it could be all closed out right here. It could.
Yeah, I mean, we are either 5 minutes away from this thing coming to a conclusion or 5 minutes away from going to a grand final game 7 for our first tournament under the new kind of rebranding and, all the fancy dancy overlays and stuff, which, by the way, big shout out to the crew that worked in the background to put all of that together. But you know what? Let's go ahead and see who's going to be able to walk away on top here.
Yeah, let us see here. Gulp, they got all the bugs cleared out of their car. Hopefully no more gnats, no more any type of insects infesting them for this one. But yeah, Gulp still 1 game away. But Squidwards, they are on a tear here, looking to go back-to-back games, looking to force a game number 7. And that, I mean, you just said it. It'd be very exciting.
The question becomes, can you strike gold first and then be able to double up? They're doing a good job of right off the rip pushing up into this Gulp territory, fighting really tooth and nail, not allowing early exits, but you got to be concerned if they start pushing up for just a little too much, if Gulp might be able to find that opening on a big counter, which would be so devastating, especially if the big counter is what gives them the lead.
I'll let you know we're out of the Twilight Zone, so we're back to keeping it close, back to 0-0 score lines after that first minute, so none of those early goals going to be there, and I think that actually benefits Gulp. I feel like that we talk about it. If Squidward was able to run up the score, if they're able to get a couple of those early goals especially, it is huge, but how about maybe an early crossbar for Gulp?
I think was looking to try and get the bump after it got ahead of him, but unfortunately a huge counter in from Reveal. And just like that from distance, I mean, able to come in with the counterattack, and all of a sudden, Squidward's got the lead.
I mean, I was honestly in Kofer's boat. I honestly thought Kofer was going to be able to win that one and maybe even score off of it. So those 50-50s, though, going Squidward's way. They take the first goal. But look at this. Kofer's going to drive right towards it. Will get denied. Some back passes do have to be made to try and keep that one alive as Tide getting up and active, using a lot of that boost, getting some demos here in the back line. And Brock making sure this ball is stalled out for as long as humanly possible.
Oh.
Brock, though, no boost. Used all of it to try and stall that ball, and Geoids will punish.
Yeah, and that's now going to be a 2-goal lead for Squidwards. And remember, when they were able to extend the lead past just one, they were able to really run it up in that last game, in which case we saw a Gulp like, nah, let's just go next. And if they were able to put them in a similar deficit here, the momentum would be so huge going into Game 7.
Would be massive, but still lots of time. A nice extra shot there from Gulp will go on forward. Kofer, good team pass, but once again, this is dangerous. He just has no boost, but it doesn't even matter. The rotations are so busted here, and it's going to be a Squidward's third goal.
Yeah, no LeBron-style chase down block here to be able to come from behind. Instead, it's actually going to now be a 3-goal lead for Squidwards here, and it's only taken 2 minutes to do just that, and they've been able to do a pretty good job over the course of the last, 2 games now, essentially, to really slow down the attack of Gulp. And the question is, have they fully figured it out, or is this just a fluke?
That is the question. I mean, still 2.5 minutes, still half of this game left to play, but Gulp, unlike the last game, no early goal to work off of. Maybe something out of the air. I like this. Aegis is stuck behind enemy lines, and Tide will punish.
That's huge here for Tide to be able to find the first one, because that lets you know, hey, we got the top starting to crack on the defense. Maybe we can make sure that we avoid going into a Game 7, but I feel like you got to get the second goal if you're over on the side of Gulp before the 1.5-minute marker.
You have to. And not only that, I feel like Gulp is a team that can run up the scoreboard really quickly, but you got to find those back-to-back goals. You cannot let Squidwards find an answer here, rebuild their 3-goal lead. And how about this? Some nice passing in midfield. Tide beats one. The secondary touch. Holy Tide.
Man, Tide just is able to put them in the spin cycle here and able to avoid the entire team going the distance. And this lead has been slashed to just 1.
And how about Tide? Just the solo plays, driving it down the field, like you said. The teamwork working as well to make sure that pass was possible. Gulp cutting down the lead now, even looking more aggressive off of the kickoff. We'll get down to the corner, and Skidwards, you got to be a little bit scared now.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the tide's starting to turn just a little bit, because you had mentioned that we do know that Gulp can run up the score, and they still got 90 seconds to be able to find the third. And if they were able to force the overtime, it would definitely feel like a big victory on their side. That was a nice crossover to Kofer. Reveal is going to be able to come in with the demo, which should continue to slow this attack, but they cannot get the clear. Kofer rising to the sky. You can actually see Tide sitting in the shadows, making sure that the Squidward squad is still sitting in their defensive territory.
I mean, the Gulp squad is getting so feisty up on that goal line. They're getting bumps, they're getting demos, but it looks like Reveal is getting the goal.
Really good counterattack here. I love to see this, and a nice job by Reveal, right? You pass it up, yeah, Brock slows you down a little bit, but you maintain the control to be able to get back in front of that ball, send that thing home, but you still need 2 if you're Gulp. You need 2 games if you're Squidward, and you only got a minute away from forcing a Game 7.
Ooh, good blocks there. Yeah, like you said, though, Gulp will now have to find 2 in this final minute, but they have already racked up 2. Maybe that offense can continue to keep on going. Kofer won't be able to win the 50-50, so has to result to give that teammate an opportunity across the wall. Reveal is going to send a nice airing pass on in. Again, those clears just drain so much time off of the clock. Speaking of time on the clock, only half a minute to work with here for either side. It's going to be Tide trying to get something going. No boost, though, and the teammate kind of bumps their own pass.
Yeah, no boosta, no bueno, which is very unfortunate here because now with 15 seconds left, there just isn't enough time. You would need some sort of miracle play off the kickoff, and especially with a big booming clear like that from Squidward, we are going to be seeing a game number 7 here in our grand final for our weekly Blizzard number 95.
Oh, baby. Oh, maybe one final goal. No, hits off the bar down. But like you said, Squidwards, they are taking 6 game. I mean, you can see it in the chat in the upper left. One more game. It's the copium. One more game. And that is true overall. One more game in the series, cutting down to an effective best of 1 to decide this championship.
And as much as I would love to tip the cap to Squidward's offense for being able to find the back of the net 4 times, I really do think that the reason they were able to walk away victorious here is the defense. Over on the side of Gulp, they launched 11 shots on target and only connected on 2 of them. So for Squidward's, your defense is locked in. The offense seems to be in sync, and we are going to a game number 7 where anything can happen.
Anything can happen. One game to decide it all. And man, Squidward's got some momentum. We've talked. It's the buzzword in everybody's ears, but they've won 2 in a row now, and they got that answering goal. I think that's really important. That not only did they, it's yeah they win 4-2, but it's that you didn't end 3-2. It's that you didn't end off with those extra 2 goals backing you up.
Yeah, this is going to be tough here now. I mean, you go into game number 7. It feels like for Gulp, you gotta make something happen in this first 90 seconds. You cannot allow for Squidward to take the lead early, because if you are able to at least keep things tied up, you will start to put that pressure back into that Squidward side.
I don't want that pressure on your side. I want to put it on the others, and these final 5 minutes, or maybe some extra with some overtime, will decide who is taking home this championship for the Blizzard 95. Like you said, under the new banner, already exciting, but we'll see how these players can make those exciting shots in this one. 30 seconds gone, no early goals on the board just yet, but Brock is going to lay it up maybe for a double touch opportunity.
Yeah, but you know what? Gulp still staying in this room, trying to see if they can launch another shot. Brock sends one there this time around. Brock also going to offer some resistance in the corner, requiring more players from Squidward to try and come over to make a play. Gets sent over across the way. G always does a good job, make sure getting to the boost, and also making sure that they can send a booming clear. But with a miss from Reveal, I thought they were going to be in trouble. Demo buys them some additional space, though.
Demo is nice, especially in that offensive zone, but got to be careful about those passes off the wall. They can beat you very easily. Reveal, though, looking to beat the entirety of the enemy team. Leaves it open. It's bouncing down. Somehow, Gulp gets back to it. What a save there to keep it 0-0.
Big play by Tide to be able to get back behind the ball, get enough oomph on it. Now it's going the other way. Ducey was a good job by Brock to get the touchdown, but wasn't able to get it to a teammate. Tide going to be able to get the hit to the corner here. Now actually going to get that pinch, sending it the opposite way. But Aegis says, nah, I still want to keep this in the opposite offensive zone. Drops it down, and they are making sure that Gulp does not get out of this defensive half easy.
Putting that pressure on, but gotta be careful here. We know how quickly that counterattack can strike. Reveal, though, is looking to strike themselves. A demo on the goal line, but the shot won't connect just yet. Off into the corner. They're going to try and continue. Geodes out of boost, out of resources to work with. Dangerous. We know that counterattack is so deadly if they can get a touch on that ball. But talking about touches on the ball, Reveal, a nice lay down there as it almost waterfalls down to a dangerous spot in front of the goal line. Going to bounce right up there for Tide, who sends a nice clear, but Reveal is there with full boost.
Yeah, and is able to do a good job to be able to get right back into the offensive zone. I thought Reveal was going to be able to drive that thing home, but instead, still doing a good job being a nuisance up in the corner, trying to see if they can get the clear, getting met at half field here. It's actually going to be Reveal getting control, tries to go down low, sends it into the corner, and on the side of Gulp, they have been fighting so hard for the last 60 to 90 seconds, and they have only just now gotten into the Squidward third, and I don't think they're going to spend very much time over here.
A nice little bump there from Reveal to hopefully get a clear out and away, but we have done 3 minutes of this Game 7 Rocket League with no goals on the board. Both teams have had pressure. Both teams have had opportunities. Squidward's maybe a little bit more, but still zeros on the board. Still 1 goal could change everything here. Age is going to be the try to maybe be the one to do it. The teammates there off the crossbar there. Age just gets up, gets active, looks for the play, but Gulp's defense is just so strong.
I mean, their defenses looked great, but they haven't been able to turn things around and go into the offensive zone. And you feel like if Squidward continues to pepper this net, continues to take another bite at the cherry, they will eventually be able to find some sort of resolution. Kofor stops dead in the track of this attack for Squidward. Gets the nice pinch, which is actually going to send over to Brock. Now they're actually trying to go into the offensive zone, raising up, drops it off the backboard, but Reveal doing a good job to be disruptive.
Under 1 minute to go here in game number 7 of our championship matchup. Some good waterfalls. Ty strikes first.
This is so beautiful. I didn't realize that Tide was down underneath there and able to actually get that right up over Aegis there. And now it's going to be up to Squidward to find some sort of answer in just 50 seconds.
And the first dagger, the death by 1,000 cuts. This may be the one to do Squidward's in. Gulp, can they hold on to this lead? Can they pick up any more? That is question to answer for these final 35 seconds. Reveal, another great shot put on the board, but Brock and Co, they want to go the other way. Got to be careful. A nice flip up there onto the backboard. Opportunity second is there, down to 20 seconds.
And man, now with that 20 seconds left, and especially with the fact that Gulp has been able to push things into this zone, it's going to be tough. They need one last attack. But again, done by Tide, sending it over. But now you got everyone pushed up. Can you find some sort of last counterattack in these closing seconds? And instead, Brock doubles it up, and it's going to be Gulp coming out on top.
It's over. There's no time, Q. 2 seconds, and Brock, Kofor, they connect. Brock has been assisting all day long, finds a goal for themselves, and it might just be the final cut.
That is so heartbreaking once again for Squidward. They get their back up against the wall, but then they deliver some magic. They try so hard, they got so far, but unfortunately in the end, it just doesn't even matter. It is going to be Gulp taking home our weekly Blizzard event number 95, our first one under the new banner here at Frost.
That is crazy, and crazy heartbreaking too. I mean, ow. Gulp held on. They get the goal as well. Brock, why not end them off like that? But like you said, big props from Squidward. Although they take home second place, what a run. Had their backs against the wall, like you said, twice. They went to max game within the series.
3 times with the lower bracket.
Yeah, 3 times. You're right. Wow.
And I mean, really fought tooth and nail through it all. Put on a show through the entirety. This is one of those where, yeah, you walk away with the loss in the grand final, but I think so much to be able to take home and be able to say, hey, you know what? We still did that. And still, I mean, coming out on top, number 2 in what has been our deepest field here for our weekly Blizzards, and at least as long as I've been coming around and helping out Cass, you know?
Yeah. And as well, you know, we were talking a little bit earlier. We hadn't heard of Gulp under a new name, but they have really proved themselves worthy of the history books, winning lots of really good matches, close matches, bringing out the offense. They deserve this trophy, Q.
It's pretty. It's so pretty. Look at that thing. That's going to be for Gulp there. They're going to be our first ones under the new banner. And I mean, really just ice in their veins to be able to come in here and take this one home. And in case you're looking around and you're like, man, everything's looking new, everything's looking nice and crisp. Well, big shout out to our staff in the back, especially Nick, who's running the boards today, but also did a lot of the work as far as the graphics and everything with the rebanding. We're going to be having new events, so get ready for a lineup of thrilling tournaments that will take your gaming experience to the next level over here with Frost Esports. Make sure you're staying tuned for announcements on upcoming competitions that promises to really make sure that we have some intense battles and epic moments. If you're not on the Discord, make sure you use an exclamation point Discord in the chat and get your butts in there, because we're about to be turning up here for the summer.
You know, bring your team in, maybe whether that's for fun or you want to compete for some of these money winnings in the weekly events. We also got Valorant on Thursday, so maybe that's more of your game. Maybe you're more of a shooter guy, or maybe Rocket League, but maybe you like to dress up nice and clean, not just like we are, but maybe with some new Frost merchandise, new with the new logos. Make sure to cop yourself some.
Oh yeah, I know I'm definitely gonna be looking to try and cop me some soon! Exclamation point merch and chat, and I just haven't figured out if the first thing I'm gonna get is that cool looking hoodie that I can put my name on the back of, or a jersey. Either way, you know I'm gonna customize that thing.
Yeah, customize it. Get maybe we'll swap like gamer tags. Like I'll get a Q one, you can get a llama one,
We gotta wait for after
whatever.
an event and do a jersey swap though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Maybe for the
get it
first
signed.
Frost land. You know?
That'd be good. Frostland. But yeah, speaking of signing, I think unfortunately that's the last match of the day. So we're going to be signing off here real soon. Before we do, we just got to give a few thank yous. First and foremost, thank you to us, the casters. We got our Twitters down below, as well as that Frost Twitter. Make sure you are following those. Give us some love over there, as well as Nick, the man behind the scenes, pressing all the buttons, doing the production job. Really appreciate him.
And also our partner as well with Trolley helping us kind of putting things together as well. So big shout out all the way around. But you know what? You'd mentioned it, Llama. It's been a long day. I do think that's going to wind things down for now. For our viewers, make sure you hit that follow button down below. Turn those notifications on until we catch y'all back over here for the next one, man. Don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard. All right, y'all. That's Llama. I'm Q from the rest of the crew from the front to the back. Y'all have a great night. Peace. Stay
Stay
frosty,
frosty.
baby.
Frost.